Hello, Internet. This is Angela, and I'm your DM du jour for this episode of Shenanigoons, the Book of Fables. Hope you all are doing very well today. How are you doing, players?
Pretty good.
Doing good.
Yeah.
On this, our 10th chapter. How exciting is that? We never came up with a title for this episode, did we?
I put it in as Fields of Story, Chorin.
Gotcha.
No G at the end. Chorin.
Chorin time.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Get to Chorin. I think this episode might be called Get to Chorin, but we'll see.
That's probably perfect. I will make a note. Get to Chorin. Which just makes me think of Firestar or Firebringer and Chorn. Chorn.
Chorn. Yes. Really. Well, that's the thing, though. This party, they can't say they really don't want to do the work today because that is the goal of the episode.
True.
So, hate to say it. You don't really have a choice in the matter. So, really quick at the top of our show, I just want to acknowledge a couple of things. One, we are members of the Nerdsmith Network. You can find out more about us at nerdsmith.org. Or if you like the show and you'd like to support us, you can find us at Patreon on patreon.com/nerdsmith. And you can support this show and others, help us keep the lights on and support our performers and just basically help us do all the fun stuff and the free nerdy content that we make for you, and we love to make for you so very much. We are also supported by a number of amazing companies that really we are both fans and friends of. We really want you to check them out and give them your support as well. We really appreciate them. So first of all, we have Eldritch Foundry, which if you see our logos or our names of all of our players have icons for their characters, and those were generated on Eldritch Foundry. A really lovely designed miniature creation website, beautiful fantasy beautiful fantasy characters and accessories and things that you can design and then get them printed out in your own custom miniatures, as well as free virtual miniatures like tokens like what I have there on each of their usernames, and top-downs for use in maps. I'm really excited because I've started using those in some private games, using top-down tokens of the custom characters, and they love having them. Please check them out over at eldritch-foundry.com, I believe. You can find out more by using the code EF in our chat. Oh yeah, and virtual tabletop friendly. Yeah, absolutely. If you use different virtual tabletops for your games, Eldritch Foundry is a really good way to incorporate your custom characters into that. So please check them out. We are also sponsored by World Anvil. It is the 29th. Oh my god, it's the 29th. Which means there are only a few days left, but there is still time to participate in World Ember. I got 60% of my word count in one sitting of just typing out in World Anvil the other day. So it is not hard to get into a groove and actually get a lot of writing done on your World Anvil account. World Ember is a yearly competition / celebration of getting inspired and adding things to your world building. And there's thousands of dollars worth of prizes for best articles in different categories. So if you'd like, you can submit your article for consideration at worldanvil.com. So please join their amazing community and light up the forge. You can be on their site for free to start, but there are some really amazing customization features that you can get if you decide you want to be a guild member, including access to certain behind the scenes and helping to craft the direction of the site if you join their Discord channel, which I always love finding out new stuff. So yeah, I'm currently tweaking a lot of things, working on a World Anvil to go live for this campaign that will have some fun things in it. But for now, you can just check out World Anvil on your own and go, throw ideas at the wall, see what sticks, because that's half the fun anyway. And Tessa, would you like to talk about our last sponsor?
I would love to talk about our last sponsor. So, we as a network are also sponsored by the ever wonderful Die Hard Dice. if you do not have a set of Die Hard dice, you should get some for yourself because they are incredible and amazing. And should you say, Tessa, I don't know, they're kind of expensive, that's okay, we have you covered. Go to backing up the tape. As the problem with live streaming rather than being on a podcast is I can't rewind my voice and make it seem like nothing happened. Please go to dieharddice.com, and when you check out, you can use the code Nerdsmith -DEC and get 10% off your order.
Yes, I will fix that right now.
That is all right. Unfortunately, the holiday sale is now over, so it's back to 10% rather than 15%. But you can still get that 10% off, and they're still incredible dice. They're still beautiful. They still roll like a dream. And honestly, I did use a set of Die Hard dice last week, and I will say that may have contributed to Paru's success in that drinking competition. She so nicely won that so handily. And if you are like me and have so many dice that it's just, there are too many for your hands to hold and roll, I highly suggest their mobile pop-up dice tower that fits so nicely in their pop-up dice trays, and you can take it with you as it is collapsible. So go to dieharddice.com, check out their stock. They've got more than just dice there, and all of their dice are beautiful. And next week, I will be showcasing a new item for the stream. So
next week, 2021.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also want to make a note really quick that and this will be just a logistics thing for people if you want to order from Die Hard. Make sure that you're aware that if you place any orders now until the 4th of January, they're going to be filling out the fulfilling orders starting in January 4th.
Yes.
They are on holiday break right now, which I will say is very awesome that they give their employees a break for the holidays. So please, though, continue to support them and go get your amazing dice there. It'll just be a little bit before they get back to Castle Die Hard. So,
But so very worth it. My latest set are the Purple Moonstone, which I have been coveting for quite some time. They're so pretty.
And the last thing I would like to say is tonight, because of not having nothing to do with the fact that it's our 10th chapter, but we're going to say it does, we are launching our audience participation features, at least some of them this evening. So if you have been hankering at the bit is not a sentence, but definitely one of the Faebles says it. If you have been chomping at the bit for adding or contributing to the chaos here at Shenanigoons, you now have the opportunity to. I am going to see if I can load this onto my screen so that it can be seen by everyone. But you will see in the rotation right now that there are a number of features that are now eligible for you to tip the show for. You can't really read it here. It's fine. But this little doohickey right here, there we go. And then I'll turn my camera off for a second. You can't read that either. That's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. There. Now you can read it great. So just letting you know that we now have 4 tiers of tipping. You can access these by going to our Streamlabs link or our Tip This Show link at the bottom of our stream. But you can help contribute to the chaos on the show in multiple ways. At $5, you can gift a reroll. Now, what that means is that the party is now in possession of a reroll pool of dice. And at any point during the game, for any reason, I will allow any reason, they can reroll a d20. That is the only stipulation. You're rerolling a d20 for whatever reason. And they will accumulate and they can stack. Someone can reroll multiple times. Basically, just check with the group, make sure it's okay that you're spending them, and then you can make that decision. At $10 or $15, you get to spin the wheel. Now we are bringing back the Wheel of Causality. Now the Wheel of Causality is basically a magic, wild magic wheel. The Feywild has followed our party back into the prime material plane, and there might be some weird stuff happening. Not just Harlan's weird stuff, but some meta things that our players will have to deal with. So if you really want to cause a little bit of mayhem, please consider the $15 tip level. If you're really aiming to be ambitious, though, $25 tip allows you to create an NPC. Work with me. Help me make a goofy person to add into the game. Give me a name, an appearance, the pronouns, and a fun little detail about the character, and I will incorporate them into the episode that you are currently watching. Won't be right away. I'll have to figure out how to get them in, but I will figure out how to get them in. And finally, DM Ex Machina at the grand $50 tip level will allow any of our players of your choice to have 30 seconds of DM powers in the scene. They can do what they want within reason. 30 seconds is not a lot. Like, they kind of know. Like, you can't just go, and then the bad guy died, the end. You get to DM, not end the game. So, if you would like to help with that, it would be amazing for them. It'd be amazing for me too. I wouldn't mind at all having that happen. So, please consider donating at one of those tip levels. You'll see it in the rotation, and you also can use any of the codes in our chat. Reroll, what is it? It's reroll, wheel, NPC, and DM 30. That'll give you information about those. So if you're ever curious about what you can donate, please check it out. I will also tomorrow remember to include it underneath where our Shenanigoons info might be. But now that we're done with all of that, red tape, let's get to our story for today. Now, when we previously left our heroes, everything happened, chapters 1 through 8. But then, in chapter 9, you found yourselves leaving Chronogram 4, leaving the world of the Book of Faebles behind as well, to strike it out in your home world. A grayer place, a more regimented place than you've been for the last several years. But one of the big goals that the queens of the book have tasked you with, or that maybe you've partially tasked yourselves with, is to go revisit your families and loved ones and the people who basically are responsible for who you were before you got into the book. Figuring out whether or not you want to stay or go back, whether or not the book is more home than what you had here. You were only in the book technically for like 2 hours. And for you, it was, a good chunk of your life. It was years, formative years, in fact. So that's a big decision that some of you are going to have to make. And we started our little self-discovery road trip with Harland, and you found yourselves in Chroniker 5, which is an adjacent farmland region, and you found yourselves specifically at Firebranch Ranch, where Harland Firebranch spent his youth as a small little furbug. It's a furbug.
Furbug? Is that what you said?
I said furbug. Yeah, I sort of dropped the L.
Furbog? Yeah.
A furbog. It's the fur. Oh, that's where. Oh, you were in the furbog when you were drinking. That's definitely where you were.
Yes, we were.
So the family of Furbolg that run Firebranch Ranch had a shindig that night, and you all kind of got to know a few people, spent some time with some of Harlan's family, and basically just kind of settled into a very homey, very loud family atmosphere that some of you weren't really that familiar with, or some of you weren't even that really comfortable with. But you got to learn a little bit about the sort of environment that Harlan came from. And Harlan has that sort of nostalgic experience of having his family still sort of treating him a little like he's the little dink that he was before. Specifically, though, trying to build a connection with his father and with his sister Arabeth, who is to take over Firebranch Ranch. You all agreed to help out with some Chorin the next day after the shindig. And that's what you're going to be put to work doing today, is the morning breaks. Now, The night before, you had partaken in some of Uncle Charlie's moonshine, having a drinking game of said pinkish liquor. And several of you barely made it back in one piece after this. Though I will say Paru was a champ in every sense of the word, and you all made it back to the Fire Branch homestead, which is a farmhouse built into several very large trees. So it has this sense of like a farmhouse, but also like a tree house at the same time. It's very pretty, still has that kind of fae vibe. There's a little bit of familiarity to that, even though you're ostensibly on a farm. And you wake up crack of dawn. The only reason you wake up at the crack of dawn is twofold. One, you're hearing you'd think a rooster, but it's like an eagle screech in the middle of the morning, barely before the sun rises. And then some of you are also welcomed, and I think this might be Paru, Tessa will have to remind me, awakened by the slobber and like sniffing of a certain very raggedy hound dog, blink dog. Mia?
Mimi?
Mimi.
Mimi.
Thank you.
Yes, that was definitely Paru.
Yes, so Paru is awoken by of a dog just dripping. It's like, oh, it's raining. No, it's not raining. And you all sort of putter awake. It's barely light out. Sun hasn't fully gone up yet. But a couple of you kind of managed to get awake. Specifically, Oliette, you had a weird dream last night. You don't remember much of the last few hours of being awake to begin with, as you critically failed at least once on those drink checks. You blacked out by the end of the night, and don't remember much of anything, except you do remember your dream.
Yes, I do.
And so what sort of dream did Oliette have? And this is part of her Arctic College of Spirits. We will be seeing the tale she retains in her sleep.
Okay. I had the most bizarre dream about a grassroots knight that is seeking vengeance against someone that felled her brother.
Ooh.
That's what my dream was about.
Interesting. Very involved, very cinematic sort of dream, or I guess narrative sort of dream that you have. And it occurs to you that though you do have a very active imagination, Oliette, that there's something very vivid, very oddly vivid about that dream. And for a little bit, you almost wonder, damn, Uncle Charlie's moonshine.
I gotta get some of that to take with me.
But as the dream goes on, as you start sort of watching this tale unfold in your mind as you're asleep, you come to realize that there's a narrator, and a very familiar narrator at that. And so as you're listening to this story, you're hearing her voice, the Queen of the Word, Her Majesty of the Word, and that gives you pause, that this might not just be a moonshine-fueled hallucination. And as you wake up with this story nearly ended in your mind, you woke up a little sooner than you should have to know the full story. You sort of think about that. You think about the story and there's a bit that's familiar. It might have been something that Her Majesty had told you before. In passing, she told you a lot of stories. So you kind of parse it out in your head, figuring out what those last few details of the plot were, how it resolved. And you kind of keep that in your head over the course of the day, or of course the morning at least. Haru, Tessa, we did say, unlike the others who are awoken by the sound of like a screeching cock-a-doodle-doo, but more of an eagle than a rooster. You, however, are awoken by a steady stream of drool as Mimi, the blink dog, had decided,
That's right.
I'm gonna stay with you tonight. And at first you're like, oh, this is Kyle. Yes, I mean, yes, but fine. We really do need to get the chat window in here sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Rock-a-doodle-doo, absolutely. You wake up, at first it's like, oh, it's warm, there's like a friend. Oh god. Oh,
it's a sticky friend.
As Mimi licks your face and you just hear and you smell dog breath, and she's like in your face. You look up and there's just black skin folds, big droopy face in your face.
Hi, Mimi.
You see the little tentacles sort of in the tail.
She gives little scritches, and then is it before the rooster or is it after the crow?
It's after.
I assume like Mimi was sleeping on her head is the only reason she didn't hear it, probably.
Sure.
So
or Mimi snores.
Yeah. She gets up and like just goes and dunks her entire face in a wash basin, like, nope, gotta get it off. Get it off. But gets up and gets dressed and heads downstairs ready to face the day.
Okay. That's fair. And face the day you attempt. Beza, you wake up. How'd you do in the drinking contest? I don't remember.
Beza was the designated sober person.
That's right.
She had a sip just to be polite and try it, and then promptly gave her cup to Oliette.
And that's why Oliette blacked out.
Juice.
Let's get moving. So basically, you wake up, you hear this sort of eagle screech. I can't do an eagle screech. And you're like, ooh, that's okay. And Oliette also wakes up at around the same time to this noise.
That.
Ow! Sorry, Kitten found the headphone cord and decided to join.
No.
You got clotheslined by the kitten?
Yeah, I did.
I might be imagining things, but that rooster sounds like it's really sick.
No, just tell it to be quiet. That's too. We're not. No.
I don't think it understands common. I don't know if I could do that, but I could try.
What happens if we just ignore it?
My guess would be that Arabeth comes in and knocks the door down and drags us out for Chorin.
Good idea. Harland, you wake up and you're like, oh right, that's a thing. It's been a while since you woke up to the sound of the basilisk. But yeah. But you get up. You know you got Chorin to do. And
just pack up a hammock and head on,
Yeah, that's right. You were on the roof.
Yep. Very politely. So I probably got the basilisk
he was on the roof. You heard it, and it's like, oh shit. So you see this massive rooster-looking thing with huge green feathers that almost look snake-like on its tail, and it's just it's got falcon blinders on. And it's just sort of scratching at the roof.
I'm moaning to you too, Chuckles. All right, I'm out of here. All right. He packs up the hammock and, puts it away in the linen closet and goes, tidies up real quick. And then, I don't know if breakfast would happen before or after.
There'd be a little something.
Yeah. So I think he'd head to the
weekend.
kitchen to, start to help.
Oh, God, Harlan, where's your hat?
Must have blown off in the night.
Damn Chuckles must have gotten it. Yeah. So you all start meandering downstairs to the smell of something coffee-like. Smells like caffeine. And it's entirely up to you if that's something you partook in the book. But and there's a little sizzled bacon. So it's like there's a little breakfast being made. And downstairs you find Harlan's mother, Francine, and Harlan's father making breakfast. Both of them are. Francine's making coffee, and Hector is doing the bacon. So they're working together on it. And you all wander in, and Francine sees you all and is like, "Oh, well, thank you so much for getting up with us. I know it's a bit of the break of dawn and your guests and all, but it's very much appreciated."
Oh, happy to help.
It's all right. Morning.
Olia's hair is just in her face. Just frizz.
No.
No. Okay. And Hector just kind of you sit, we'll have some Sammys.
Is there anything I can do to help?
You want to throw a couple of the and he points over at there's a bunch of leftovers strewn out across the table from last night, including a bunch of rolls and bread. He's like, you want to throw those on the stove, toast them up? That'd be helpful.
Absolutely. So she'll go ahead and hop on that.
Thank you kindly.
I'm not good at cooking because I don't eat, so I don't really know what stuff's supposed to taste like, but I could set the table.
Oh, that'd be super, darling. Thank you.
All right.
Harlan, how'd you sleep, hon?
Just fine. Just as I used to. Up on that roof. I did forget that we had the basilisk up there, and so that was a rude awakening.
Well, it seems he sort of decided to take roost up there when you headed out. It wasn't that long ago, but yeah. Yeah, first chance he got, sort of took over.
It always was very opinionated fella.
And you hear Arabeth's voice. I think you mean ornery. And
That too.
she wanders in from outside, already fully dressed and got some mud on her boots.
I keep telling you that's where I learned how to swear.
At the ornery.
Well, from the basilisk.
Oh.
Made a noise. It sounded just like, not gonna say it because the present company would not be polite.
Later.
Mm-hmm.
Well, morning all. Bright and sunny, I see.
Morning.
Good morning.
So, y'all ready for a little Chorin? I already you got some catching up to do.
Absolutely. You just point me in whatever direction you need.
Great. And Arabeth kicks her shoes off and is like, "All right, so first, gotta get something in your stomach, or at least get something in your veins, so that you stay awake long enough to actually do some work." And she reaches out where her mom is and grabs a tin cup and starts putting way too much sugar in it, and drinks it black with sugar. And she's just sort of blowing on it and sipping on it. And well, I guess it makes sense to maybe get a sense of what your skills lie in. See where we can best put you to good use. So any of y'all have animal handling experience, anything like that? Well, I mean, I knew you do, Lundy.
I'm pretty much plant or animal. I'm your girl. I can do both.
Plant or animal? Well, that's pretty much everything. So...
Now, I worked a little bit with the mounts that the hunters used, but that was pretty much.
Well, we got things to do with that. We got some shoeing to do, so you can help with that.
I'm really good at sitting.
All
Milk.
right.
Milking. That's what you'll be doing.
That's fair. Yeah, you could do that.
Milking?
You sit on a stool. You just sit on a stool. And
Well, you don't just sit on a stool. There's like other mechanics to it, but sure.
Well, right, but
You don't have to walk around. It is literally a seat.
something you can sit and focus.
And Francine's like, oh, you could also help me with, I gotta get some stuff set up for dinner tonight, so I could use peeling or things like that.
There's no animal udders and body parts involved with that second option? Because I'll do that one.
No, it's gonna be like corn and potatoes and stuff.
I can handle corn and potatoes.
Okay. Extra pair of hands will make short work of it. And Arabeth is all right, so looks like you three are with me, and Miss Morning person is gonna be with Mama. So yeah, y'all just get your and she walks over to where her dad is cooking. Did you already put toast and stuff on the stovetop or anything?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Fire?
I pretty much, as soon as I could get stuff going, she was like, do.
So a couple minutes, and Arabeth kind of sidles up next to you. She's like, "Excuse me." She reaches way over you and is like, "Ow, ow."
I could have just handed it to you.
Where's the fun in that?
There's
She takes this big, thick piece of toast and then walks over to her dad and steps around him. He's like, "I'm not done." Yeah, well, I like it medium. She takes a piece of bacon and then just basically smushes it in her fist and then just starts eating like a burrito.
What a bad bitch.
Because I already did love her enough.
It's cold.
Damn it,
It's
Angela.
cold. She's a garbage person. What do you want from me?
And that's why I love her.
Basically, yeah. So she does that, and then she goes over to there's basically a bunch of, like I said, a bunch of leftover stuff. She pulls out something that basically looks and tastes like Vegemite, and smears that on top, which I recently got into. It's so good. But there's a particular way to eat it. You don't just eat it.
You gotta
taught. I have been taught by some Australians how to do it, and I feel very. Yes, it's called all the butter because butter makes everything better. It's a very tiny amount of it. Anyway, it's okay. It's okay, Heather. You don't have to.
That's okay. I've been introduced to Canadian all-dressed chips, and let me tell you, that has blown my diet in about 10 seconds. It's so good.
Speaking of diet, is there any grain-free option? Do we have any lemon? What are we working with here? All we have is bacon and bread?
Well, we got some.
Right?
Yeah, there's fruit. And they look over. There's lemons and grapefruits and stuff. You basically whatever the spectrum of citrus fruit, it looks like that. It's hard to kind of tell which ones are which though. It's just okay, this one's slightly smaller.
Just take a gamble on whichever one looks closest to grapefruit.
Sure, there's a big one. and you grab it and grab a knife and just cut it open. It's very sour. It's very grapefruit-like. And Arabeth pulls the sugar bowl that she put way too much of into her coffee and hands it to you. This will cut it a little bit better.
No, I deserve this. This is fine.
This is my penance for drinking.
This is what I get, yeah.
And Arabeth looks around at Ollie as you're getting ready. He's like, I guess y'all look okay. Harlan, you look kind of pale. How you doing?
Beg pardon.
It's meant I don't know if she looks at her dad. And, I don't know if that evening walk we took last night set with you well.
I'm feeling just fine. What?
Alright.
I'm not picking up what you're putting down.
Did you
now that
sneeze?
yeah. Now that she mentions it, you look a little different.
I'm gonna need a bathroom.
You shuffle off.
Yeah.
You go look. You go look in the bathroom, and yeah, your color's a little off. You're like pinkish, just a little.
Where?
Ears are a little smaller. It's weird. You look a little odd. But it's like you. It's just you with some weird changes.
I don't know if that I like it.
Yeah, well, you've spent the last several years with Gura learning how to roll with the punches. Just looks like you got punched a little harder this time.
Gura, I don't know that you got a piece. I mean, do the rest of us look the same?
Oh, you got a new look to you, hon. Arabeth looks at you, Beza.
You?
A little bit.
Follows Harlan into the bathroom.
You start like.
He like
over
put his hand down to like help her climb up to sink height.
That's short.
Your hair does look really cute that way. I meant to tell you.
My hair was carved. It's not supposed to change.
Have to ask Uncle Charlie about. I mean, the mystery will remain unsolved for some time until we are able to. I do not know what you are talking about.
Your parents might be nice, but they're not stupid.
Listen, what they don't know won't hurt me.
Oh my god. Okay, both of you get out. I think I'm gonna yak. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Oh god.
Running. So you run in.
Pygmy Paru just looks over at Arabeth. They're not normally like this, I swear.
Weird's fine. Plenty of weirdness around here.
What are these?
Oh, the little kitty ears.
They don't come off. They're stuck.
Well, it is a definite design choice of some sort or another, and
it's cute. I like it.
It does look fetching.
Well, I guess it could be worse.
Oh, grapefruit is just as sour in reverse, just so you know. Oh god.
Oh no.
The stomach acid probably didn't help.
Oh god. Anyway, we're gonna push on past that. I mean, thank you, but we're.
Paru just grabs a sandwich a la Arabeth and makes a similar looking burrito and just kind of shakes it.
Well, as you smoosh the sandwich, Paru, you look down at your hands and your hands look a little weird. And you open up your hand and you see that like all 4 of your fingers are the same length. It's really weird.
Interesting. Okay.
Oliette, can I get an Arcana check from you?
Oh man. Ooh, with my new Die Hard dice.
Hey.
Oh, hey. Okay. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That's a 17.
When you guys were running in the library, there was a bit where you were just like, man, maybe Harlan just had some weird stuff happen around him, but it was happening to all of you. And there's something sort of similar in vibe to this. Like, maybe you all think a little bit, like, maybe Harlan's contagious? Maybe the book did something and you guys are a little wonky? It's weird that like weird things keep happening to you all.
Just gargle and go back and check my parents. No, I'm still hot. I guess it's not like No. Okay, or whatever. That's fine. Whatever.
Glad the important things are still in order.
Yeah, that's all she. Come on.
Still hot? Good. Awesome.
I still look really good. It's fine. Sweaty but good.
You you don't see anything overtly obvious about you, and you're just like, okay, and go about returning to the kitchen. And Arabeth's like, all right, well, let's break out into tasks and see y'all back here around lunchtime.
All right.
Right.
Hey.
Have fun. Looking at you, Oliette. And you hear Francine behind you. Oh, don't mind her. She's just a stick in the mud. Everything needs doing, and she just seems to not think that this, and she looks around at the house, is important enough. And when you've got 30 people to feed every so often, and most of the time you got at least 15, that, you got a lot of work to do, and it's a vital part of the whole process.
And we appreciate it, Mom.
Mm-hmm. Get. Kind of like very gently mimes kicking you. Doesn't, like, she's a half the room away. She just does it. And Arabeth's like, all right, come on, Lundy.
Oh, what's our first stop?
So Arabeth's just sort of, she's bouncing a little as she's trying to get her shoes back on, but insisting on not stopping. She's keep moving forward while she's tugging her boots on, and she's like, well, I figure we'd go check on the cattle.
That's how you get foxtails. You know that, right?
Shut up. Don't bother me.
Yeah,
You might look older, but you're not.
Well, I did have a variety of experience from.
I don't want to know about any of that.
Paru laughs out of her nose. It sounds a little bit more like a snort than a laugh with that comment.
Yeah, I don't want to hear none of it from you either.
I mean, to be fair, we couldn't give you any details or anything.
That's true.
Good. Very glad to hear that. Or would have been gladder to not have heard it at all. And she's like, well, yeah, I figure we go check out the cattle. She looks at Beza. Beza, you said you seem like a strong folk, and you're used to sort of mounts and such. Seems like you might be helpful with the shoeing. And maybe Paru, you can help me. We gotta kind of we call it courting, but it's more just getting them to go the way we need them to go.
Mm-hmm.
And Lundy, you could be want to be taskmaster? Get the bird's eye view. Tell us what we gotta do.
Sure, I can do that.
You're tall enough now.
Right. Yeah.
And so Arabeth takes you, walks you a little further into the ranch property, and eventually you end up at a field where you see a herd, and the herd is a bunch of these. Well, Paru's gonna love this because this is where my brain went. You see a bunch of cattle. They look like cows. They're more of an interesting, like a ruddy red-brown color, though.
Are these mushrooms from PA?
These are mushrooms. You see, there's like lichen growing on the back of some of them, and little caps growing on the back of some of them. Where there'd be horns, some of them have little.
Oh my god.
You all are sorry, we're still in tech. We're just have a tech down.
1 second.
Window. Yeah. It's fine. Please copy yoga. Okay. So, anyway, as I was saying, we you arrive at this field where you see these sort of reddish brown cattle. They're on the bigger side. They're a little stocky. They also are, they're a little furry. They're kind of Highland-esque. Yeah, you're welcome, Kyle. I hit 2 players with one critter.
So excited.
And so they're like red brown, and they've got the shaggy hair, and some of it's going over their eyes. But you see, coming out of the fur, you see these little mushrooms, and you see lichens sort of blending in with the fur, and they're just kind of chilling in this long grass. They seem to be eating the grass, and God damn it! Fuck, Kyle. You keep sniping me. I really gotta stop looking at the chat. And so you see these, and Arabeth waves a hand out at the. There's probably at least 100 of these cattle, and she waves out and she goes, "Well, welcome to my pride and joy."
I love them. They're fantastic.
Good. Glad. Yeah, these were my contribution to our recent expansion. I thought, much in the same way that Mama says that you should never have something in the kitchen that don't do 2 things at least. I thought that maybe the same could be applied to livestock.
Interesting.
So, what do they do?
Well, they grow to start,
Right.
and you can gather the mushrooms and the lichen for folks who need that. I mean, you get real good cream of mushroom out of them.
Paru looks absolutely horrified at that.
I will say that my laugh was her laugh.
Okay.
She's like, I'm just shitting with you.
Okay.
Nah, they're they're cattle. So there's a mix of, meat and some of them are pretty good for hauling stuff. So you get them as like beasts of burden kind of thing. She points out at some of them, and you see some of them have these like craggy, almost tree-like steer horns coming out of them, and there's little mushrooms coming out of them.
That would explain why you need to put shoes on some of them. I was wondering why you do that to cattle.
Yeah. Basically, we're still in an exploratory phase of the kinds of things that we use them. But we're trying to like investigate what kind of things can be used with them. Yeah. I mean, I just got the 100 head of them, so we're just, doing our best, trying to figure it out.
Do you ever have to go journeys overnight? Do you ever have to go haul overnight with them? I can probably, some of the spores that I have could probably work with the mushrooms to give them little miniature lanterns almost if you need to make longer trips.
Oh my god, glowing cows. I adore that. Yes, please. I mean, if only for the aesthetics, I would gratefully accept some help with that.
Are you saying that they would be bioluminescent?
I take it back. I'm not doing it anymore.
And she, with the gravest of expressions, your sister walks up to you, Harlan, and puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "I have never been more proud of you in my entire life."
Yeah, where would that come from?
You're not getting invited to the next mushroom party. Is what her response.
You got a lot of experience making those kinds of puns and jokes.
Oh, good. So you were using your time wisely, I see.
Awfully.
All right, well, let's get to work. So Harlan, why don't you take a gander up there, and she points at basically like a lookout, like a little outpost sort of thing, on the side of the.
We have a donation.
Oh, do we?
A $25 donation. It says, "Thank you, Angela. You
Oh,
know all."
please. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, we've got a
That's
new
me.
subscriber.
Yes, I see that.
So what do we have for our, I'll check Streamlabs, I guess, on our donations.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look.
Create a new NPC.
Okay.
I'm excited by this.
Okay. Sure. Thanks, Mouse.
Thank you,
We'll
Mouse.
see what happens. I apologize in advance. To her, specifically. Okay.
I'm delighted.
I will keep that in mind, and it will incorporate somehow into the session.
Delightful.
So, as Arabeth is pointing out this sort of outlook for you, Harland, it's basically just 4 spikes in the ground with a ladder and like a little platform up top. Kind of looks like you're about to coach a marching band. For that kind of thing. Basically like a little electrical, like we're gonna fix a telephone pole sort of thing. And she points up there and she's like, well, you know, we got to get them over into there. And she points at a smaller fenced area. And we just got to get them over there, and then we'll harvest and then get them back out there so they can keep eating.
What exactly are we harvesting?
Oh, the lichen and the mushrooms. We're gonna keep those. Some folks use them for alchemical purposes, or sometimes they're just foodstuffs. But for the most part, it's just very yeah. There had to be a reason they were star-crossed. Aru. She approves eating mushrooms. Maybe it's technically cow. Maybe it's more meat. Maybe it's more cow than mushroom. You can just sweat. You know what it? Oh no! You know what it is? It's satay. Anyway, she's like, you know, people use them for all sorts of things, but the lichen in particular has a couple of properties that folks really use well. There's sort of a rash that people get sometimes to get to in the weeds out in the bog, and the lichen gets used to make an ointment. You're not here, Aaliyah. You don't get to be invented. You're not even here. But yeah, the lichen is used to make like an ointment that helps it out, and then a couple other things. But the liken's a big one, and they grow it all over, and you kind of see that it's all sort of tucked into the fur, and it's just kind of draping. It's like they have, it's like some of them look like they have like little mesh capes on because they're just sort of draped in this
delightful
this lichen material.
It's like sloths.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And yeah, there's this slight like whitish green sort of color on the backs of these cows, these mushrooms, and so she goes, all right, so we got a couple of tasks to do when we get them in there. We're gonna harvest the lichen and the mushrooms, and then we gotta re-shoe the ones with the big horns. So those are 2 separate tasks, but you know, we have enough folks now that we might actually be able to get through it pretty quick. And that's the plan. So break. And she puts her fingers in her mouth and she whistles really loud. And you hear, and you see Mimi bounding up in a couple of jumps towards you, and she's all drool and tongue lolling, and Arabeth kneels down. Is like, yeah, you want to do a little herding? Yeah, you scritches, just handful of loose skin on the dog's head because she's just all floppy. And
I just had a mental image of like, you know, Nightcrawler when he bamfs, how there's always a little bit of puff of smoke. When Mimi bamfs, it's just drool that just like
it's just a puddle in the ground. Oh god! What? How did we get into Splatoon? Is that what happened?
Oh my god!
So Arabeth's like, all right, Pyro, come on. And she hops over the fence. It's these big logs.
Yeah,
you hop over, And
climbs over probably.
You climb over the first one, and she goes over the second one, and Mimi just goes with a little splatter, because oh my god, and ends up on the other side of the fence and just starts running. And you see Arabeth pulls from off her back. There's like basically like a shepherd's crook kind of thing. It's a little craggy and like it looks almost like driftwood. And she starts whistling very elaborately to Mimi, and Mimi kind of takes a little curve around and starts like herding a couple of the cows, trying to break them off from, like, they were hugging the wall of the fence a little bit, and she's trying to get them in the middle, because you're trying to basically, it's a big rectangle and you're just trying to get them into a little gate to another section where there's more like stations to do stuff with the cows. And so she's like, well, I mean, whatever you can do to kind of encourage them in that general direction without stampeding them, that'd be helpful.
Do you want...
Mimi's only got 4 legs.
I was gonna say, do you want a second pair? Or another pair of 4, set of 4, I should say.
Sure.
Alright.
Do that?
Insta-Mimi.
Oh. Can you bamf?
That's a good question. Can I? I mean, I turned it into the animal. Can I technically? I mean...
Yeah, let me see. I mean, I don't think a blink dog's a beast.
Yeah, I probably can't fully, actually.
So you're probably just a black hound dog at
I'm
that
probably...
point.
Yeah, black hound dog.
No tail, just regular tail.
Yeah.
Still drooly, but...
maybe like an actual shepherding dog rather than a
blink dog is a blink dog is fey. But basically, if you want to do a blink dog, I would allow you to use the stats of a blink dog and just ignore the teleport.
Okay.
Everything else is just dog. So
I think she'd actually just go with just a regular shepherding, like border collie-esque. I wouldn't be as cool as a blink dog, but like just as functional.
See, now that you look like a goblin, though, I really want you just to be Beast Boy and all your animals are green.
She could. But is she a goblin, though? Is she?
She looks like a goblin.
That's true. I was just saying, like, she
green.
definitely has, like, a braid or 2 coming off, which is...
Yes.
So, she just kind of...
Glorious.
She raises an eyebrow, turns into the border collie, and basically starts mirroring Mimi from the other side to work in tandem to shuffle easier. And before she goes, my folks are mushroom farmers. That might come in handy too. And then pushes into the border collie.
Harlan, I like your new friends.
Yeah, I do tend to like them as well. Most.
All right, Beza, you want to wait? You want to wait in the other stocks over in the other fence line, and just there's some stuff over there. You'll find little patch area for doing the shoeing. You'll find a bunch of tools and stuff.
Yeah, all right. I'll take a look. I'm not as familiar with various tools as I am with Smith's tools, but I'll see what we got.
A lot of the same stuff. There's chisels and clamps and clips and shit.
Should be good then. I have proficiency with tools.
Yeah, it's just like cutting toenails. It's fine. They don't care.
I don't have to do that normally, so.
Well, with whatever you mounted. The rhinoceros panther didn't have horseshoes. This is also coming from Angela spending too much time on horseshoe TikTok, so I know how to do that. You get to weird places on the internet sometimes. Anyway, so Paru, you are galloping around. Are you going the opposite direction as Mimi? Or are you going the same direction? You're gonna flank the herd, or you're gonna try to like reinforce? Sure. Yeah. So give me an animal handling check. You can, I would say, honestly, I don't know if this is the case, but is it just physical stats that change? Or do your mental stats change too when you beast shape? Okay, then yeah, go ahead and give me an animal handling. Great. So you kind of check out what Mimi's doing, and you see very instinctively, like, it's really fun to see her working, because otherwise she looks like a lump of a thing, and she's on top of things. She gets it. And you watch once where she like is running around and the cattle start getting a little restless and they start like moving a little bit too close to her, and she blinks away from them and gets a little further out and starts pushing them again, basically able to avoid getting kicked. And you just watch as she kind of like darts around a little bit, loping a little slower than you, who's got speed on your side, for how small the dog is you turned into. And you bank to the other side of this herd. We'll just say it's like a big oval of cows, and you sort of both work on getting them to shift towards the entrance of the other section of the fence line. Harland, from your vantage point up where you are watching all of this happen, you can see that there are some stragglers kind of meandering outside of the big oval. There's a big steer that's moving away from the herd, and it doesn't seem like the dogs are noticing.
He will. How far away is it?
It's probably like 100 feet, maybe 150. All right. It's a big field.
So he will use something that comes naturally to Faebles. Is he starts mooing at the cow, and he's using speech of beast and leaf.
Yes. Okay.
Now, I see y'all over there. Y'all need to come back over this way. I know you might not cotton to what might you might think might be happening, but it's definitely for your benefit that you come this way. So come on now, get your act together.
Yeah. Every time you say a sentence, it's just where my brain finishes it. So, all right, give me an animal handling check with advantage, because you're speaking their language.
First roll was a 13, and the second roll was an 8.
Okay, so 13 total. Okay, so you're hollering this moo. Arabeth looks up at you like. And because it's like a moo, but it's also like and because it's sort of it's sort of an instinctive thing, and you've been hearing these cows, it's like a moo and a gurgle at the same time. So it's like a little further, it's placed a little further back in your throat than a moo normally would be. Gargle moo. Perfect. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you. I adore your commitment to the bit, so thank you so much. Noted. Anytime I need to ridiculously describe something. And so yeah, so you sort of call out. Arabeth's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And she kind of sees what you're doing. And you hear Paru. You hear another one of Arabeth's whistles. Mimi cuts off real quick, basically hearing a signal to like start back from the beginning, go far out and come back in. And she sees the steer that's missing from the herd, and just basically like doesn't get in its face, but like runs around it, tries to get up in its face to kind of get it to move. There's like some whipping of her tails. They're like at attention, almost like sort of Cobra-esque, and the cow's just like, fuck that, and starts moving closer to the gate. This is gonna happen the whole time, folks. This is what you came for. And starts heading towards the crowd again. So you're successfully moving them into the fence line.
When I see Mimi basically head off, I'm going to cut over to where Mimi was and then continue moving this group while she gets that straggler. Sure. So she continues the work of funneling.
Well, and you see Arabeth wander back to where you were with her stick, and with the crook that she has, she pats the ground down a little bit with the stick, and you watch as like these little hills kind of go, make a little bit of a barrier, so they'd have to make a little effort to come back where they were. And they kind of like, you see them. It's kind of like when you, it's kind of like that. What's the word? There's the way that you herd cattle in like a little like in curves. Kind of does that a little bit. So she's like curving the land a little bit up so that they start kind of meandering into the fence line and breaking down into like smaller line. So it's only a handful of them at a time. It's not a huge crowd. They don't crowd each other in the opening. And you watch as they sort of trot into this space. The grass is a lot shorter on this side of the fence. It's mainly so you can walk around. And Beza, you see a bunch of the ones with steer horns, these big, craggy wooden horns with mushrooms on them, kind of start heading to the front of the pack. And Mimi blinks near one of them and starts nudging them a little bit closer. And Arabeth is waiting at the fence as you keep herding them in, Paru. Harlan, you're sort of watching this, and you kind of see this. You're the one who sort of sees what Arabeth is doing. Paru, you just see her like lifting the ground a little bit in spots. But Harlan, you actually see the sort of little spirals and curls that she's moving them in. To get them to kind of continue moving forward. They're kind of hugging one side as they move around this little curve of ground.
He'll assist doing that with you, like mold the earth, kind of like continue the pattern that she's already established.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she notices, like, she starts moving earth, and then she sees you doing it, or like she sees it going ahead of where she was planning on doing it. And she kind of like looks around. She looks up at you, kind of focusing as you're doing it. And she's like, all right, fair. And you both work together pretty well, figuring out how to get this sort of curvature to work. And eventually, when they're all in, you see Arabeth start flattening a little bit of the earth back where it was. And she's like, you think you got this handled, Lundy? And she kind of points at all of this.
I am absolutely 100% able to reflatten this earth.
Well, thank you.
Don't mind if I do.
And she kind of just pats the fence, and you watch as she pats the fence starts closing. And you have this herd now in the shorter grass of this more work-based area of the ranch. And we will ease to Oliet for a minute. So back at the farmhouse, Francine's finishing up putting breakfast together with Hector. Hector is eventually leaves because a few farmhands come in and they all get sandwiches and stuff too, and coffee. They're just like, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. A bunch of big furbolg dudes and a couple of folks that aren't furbolgs, but they just seem like they're hired hands. And Francine gives Hector like a lunch and like kisses him on the cheek, and he heads out, and he kind of gives you a nod. It seems like that's about as verbal as he is sometimes. And Francine just sort of sighs and is like, well, that was enough for a little while. How about a break? And she goes into an icebox and pulls out, in any other southern household, this would look like it was lemonade, but it definitely looks like a margarita.
Oh my god, I knew I picked the right chore.
Little hair of the furbolg, hun.
Yeah, yes. I can get behind that for sure. There's no moonshine in there, right?
No. Oh, hun. You hung out with Uncle Charlie last night.
Oh, hung out. Yeah. Yes. I totally hung out and was able to. I can hang. I can do it. Yes.
Blacked out.
It's fine.
Same thing.
Well,
Hung out, blacked out.
You You gotta watch it with Uncle Charlie's brew. I mean, that'll change the color of your eyes if you're not careful.
It was pink. It looked harmless. I don't know.
Oh,
Well, now I know.
And no one's half the bad. It's true. So she pours you both margaritas. You like hang out for a little while. And she goes, well, eventually we should start working. And she leads you out to the front of the house. And on the front of the house, there's a big, huge porch. And there are these massive baskets of what look like corn. They're purple, though. And potatoes and maybe a couple other root vegetables and stuff. But there's some buckets out there. And 2 really comfortable looking wooden chairs. And like, yeah, basically it's just, I didn't want to move. I can peel potatoes. And so she sits and you all, and she shows you how to like shuck the corn basically. And it's like corn shucking. I don't think Oliette's ever done that, but
no. To be honest with you, as soon as Francine shows me how to do it, I just start picking up ears of corn and holding them and summoning my mage hand to do the hard part, which is the peeling and like getting the little hairs off of it. So I'm literally just holding out ears of corn and then tossing them into the basket, picking up another one.
Had unseen servant, they could also tell to do that.
So, yes, but also to be fair, I felt like it wasn't fair to change my spells because I was blacked out so hard. I didn't want to. I felt like it wouldn't make sense to prepare new ones. So I just woke up and what I had yesterday.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Self-punishment.
No, I get it. I appreciate the honor system.
Nice.
So the 2 of you were working for a while, and eventually a couple folks from town wander up from the up the lane, and you see a what do you see? You see there's a gnomish girl and a say a half elf person, feminine presenting, and they are they're carrying a couple of extra baskets of some other food stuffs, and they wander up the lane, and behind the 2 there is a very large black wolf. You think for a second it's stalking them, but then it like picks up pace and kind of nudges the gnome. So you get the sense that this might just be a pet. And you have and Francine kind of glances up and sees them coming. And it's like, "Oh, hey there, darlings. How you doing?" And the gnomish girl nods and waves and goes, "Oh, hi, Mrs. Firebranch. How are you doing?" "I'm doing just fine, Mamita. How are you?" And she's like, "Oh no, very well. I have a new batch for you if you're interested." And you look down and she's got more citrus in a basket. And when you look at the half elf, it takes a second. They have to get a little closer before you realize it, but they actually have little horns. Like just really tiny ones. Kind of like.
How old does this half elf appear? Is it like a young woman, a child, a woman? Middle aged. Okay.
Like what a human middle age would look like.
Got it. Okay.
And so Mamito comes forward with the wolf, and this, I guess, what you maybe a tiefling, maybe more like on the elven side of like a mashup. And she waves, and Francine's like, "Oh, quixotic, it's wonderful to see you." "Well, hello, how are you?" And they come up, and you basically get a bunch of like small talk from the 3 of them, and Mamito comes up as the wolf trots up to you, Oliette, just kind of sniffing around. Big wolf. And you hear Mamito go, Trace, cut it out. Be nice. And the wolf is just kind of like puts a head on your lap. Oh, he just wants to be pet. It's fine. He does that with all the new people that he meets. He wants to be friends with them.
Okay. Yes. Also, you know how hard it is to get fur out of a tutu? This is Tool.
I know you are, but what am I? No,
I'll just very awkwardly like, pat. There you go.
That is a good baby.
Yeah.
he moves away.
Dust myself off.
Such a good baby.
And Trace proceeds to go to one end of the porch, do a spin, and lay down.
Beep, beep.
And so Mamito comes up with this basket of citrus, and Francine's like, oh yeah, this is Mamito and Quixotic. They're from down the way, but they're gonna help us out a little bit today. Yeah, we knew that that Francine was looking to make the Grayson Maze, and we thought we'd bring some seasonings. And Mamito lifts up the citrus. She's like, well, yeah, there's a lot of zest that goes on top of the potatoes and the corn.
Uh-huh.
So that'll be another thing we got to do.
Okay.
Aren't
Do we
you
have any
happy
more
you
of that?
took this job?
Do we have any more of that lemonade, by the way?
And Mamito gets really excited, and she's like, "You made did you?" And she's like, "No, there's some in the fridge, extra sour, just like you like it." And she's like, "Yeah." And the Mamito just like basically bolts into the house, and eventually comes out with a pitcher, and it is lemonade colored, but you know better. And so even when she like puts it down, like the nose on this is like singes the nostrils. It's very, very acidic, very sour. And you watch as Mamito busts out a citrus fruit. It's very small, but when she like takes a knife and starts cutting it open, she has a glass, or she had glasses with her, and she puts one down, and she just like squeezes the entire fruit into the glass before she pours the margarita mix in, or like the margarita that was already prepared into that also. And she just starts stirring her glass, and she's like, you want it the way Francine makes it, or would you like it the way that I make it?
I'm just gonna do the norm. I had kind of a long night. I'm just gonna take it easy. So no offense. That looks great.
None taken. That's okay. Sure. And so she pours you a regular glass of the margarita, and she takes a sip of hers, and considers for a moment, and then her face just goes.
That's literally making my mouth water just thinking about it, honestly.
And then her face just scrunches together, and then after a second, she just kind of kicks the patio. Good.
Okay.
This is giving me still lemonade flashbacks, but only with sugar.
The opposite of it. And Mamito pulls a book out of her pocket and starts taking tasting notes. Well, that was easily an 8 on the scale. That was very good.
That's the face you make when something's good.
Good is sort of a relative term. I'm more concerned with the sour potential.
Oh, right.
There is an intersection on the graph between sour and good, but I'm way off the grid at this point.
Do I know what that's like?
There is pre-made margarita in my fridge right now, and all I can think about is how bad I want a margarita now.
Right?
I swear I didn't know. And so yeah, you basically hang out with them for a while, shucking corn. Well, your mage hand is shucking corn. Mamito is occasionally sneaking a little bit of potato over, like rolling a piece over to Trace. And just chewing it, not eating it, just chewing it.
Makes sense.
And so Quixotic and Mamito spend some time, and you guys do a little they do a little small talk. And there's a vibe that kind of feels a little like when you were hanging out with your girlfriends. They seem to be gossiping a little bit about what people in town are doing. You do hear a little bit about a tithe that's coming up soon, and they're talking a little bit about, like, well, they take their cut and all that sort of thing, and then you just move on. You have the whole season to yourself. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's just one of those things. They took a lot more last year. They said it was some sort of the algorithm they were using to calculate the tithe was had an error last year, and so they took the remainder of it, and just a lot. Mixing up numbers can mess up all sorts of things, can't it? And so they're having this conversation. I think it's a little quiet. It's not as lively a conversation. It's taxes. So Francine's just sort of nodding and listening as Quixotic and Mamito give you a rundown of how town is going. And what you kind of gather is the chronicers, or at least this chroniker, they operate as like a satellite of the chronograms, the cities. They provide food for the cities as well as sustaining themselves. And it seems like there's at least a department in the government that is responsible for taking the amount that is required to help sustain the chronogram. Less of a capitalist system and more of a, like, this is already owned by us, the government. You're going to make this and we're taking it. This is your task. This is, like, we gave you the land, so that's what you do for us. And so you get kind of a slight insight into the politics of Chroniker. And it seems like that the collection is going to be happening soon-ish, maybe in the next week.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Oliette's been zoning out for most of this.
Yep.
Just missing my girls. Like, when Mamito poured me that drink, I was like, God, I miss Abiella. That was my girl. This is how it used to be.
Someone poured me drinks.
Right. Yeah, I think I'm catching pieces of it, but honestly,
Sure.
just kind of
and
like,
that's about the gist of what you get, is like,
Yeah.
there's some sort of tax, it's coming up soon, and they're sad about not getting to keep all their food. That's about all you gather.
okay. Yeah, I mean, sucks to suck, I guess. I don't know.
Oh my god.
I know she's the worst. I'm sorry, she's the worst.
I do need I know for a fact that one of our viewers right now, Mitch, if you're hearing this, I need that sound effect of Jean Ralphio going, "She's the worst." And then I can just press it and play that whenever Olia is overtly bad.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
So she's literally the worst. She's
it's
amazing, and we thank you.
I am Mona Lisa for sure.
Money, please.
Money, please.
God, I hate. Just
okay. Anyway, sorry.
It's just the meme of Olia going, "I have literally done nothing wrong in my life," and Her Majesty of the Word, I know this, and I love you."
I need it.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
Headcanon accepted.
So, back at the ranch, or back on the ranch area, you let's see, Paru, you and Arabeth are giving Beza a hand with the shoeing. There's
Yeah.
no ing. There's no g in the gerunds in this farm. You drop the g's. So the shooing is happening, and you basically what happens is Arabeth leads one of the steers forward, and then there's like a little footrest that they can kind of put their knee back on, and you basically have to clean up the shoe. Like there's grass and mud and stuff, and you gotta scrub it off. And then you basically help pull a shoe off the hoof of the cow, and then you basically give it a manicure. That's the whole thing. You're giving a cow a manicure.
And then putting a new shoe on, like
you're putting a new shoe on. Arabeth does this really cool thing though. When she's about to put that on, she actually touches the shoe, and you watch it get red hot in her hands. And then you put it on, and so there's she puts like an oil on the hoof, and then when it touches, the oil just and it sticks. You don't have to hammer anything in; it just kind of sticks. It's an acrylic. It's the cow now has acrylic hooves or acrylic horseshoes.
So anytime it taps, it's typing on the keyboard. You hear it.
This cow's really bad at typing. So you're helping out with that task, and Arabeth's like giving you a little bit of suggestions here and there. You want to be gentle, make sure they, you gotta pet them, make sure they know they're fine. It's just a little it's got to be a everyday sort of thing. Can't make it a big to do.
Right. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And on the plus side, I'm so close to the ground, they don't have to pick the feet up as much.
I'm sure they appreciate that. And you can actually readjust the height of this little. It's like basically a U with a cushion on it, and they can just put their foot in it, just like since their hoof back. Mm-hmm. And you work on one of them. You get all 4 of the hooves done, and you kind of Arabeth sort of pats it on the butt. Actually, while that's happening, Arabeth is telling you, Paru, that you should try while it's sitting there. She's petting it and sort of like holding it. She's got more obvious muscle between the two of you, and Baze is the one that probably won't have a problem getting kicked if it happens. So Arabeth's the one actually kind of like manhandling the cow, and she's just like scritching it. You just watch her scritch the cow, and she has you getting the mushrooms off the antlers.
Yeah, and Paru's really adept at that. She has her little kind of special harvesting knife, and she's just quick pop. I'm assuming it's just like regular mushrooms that you would harvest. So she's doing, exactly how her parents basically taught her to harvest mushrooms. So she's taking care of it quickly.
Well, and at one point when she first asked you, she goes, Arabeth goes, "Do you need a boost?"
No, I'm good, thanks.
Mm-hmm. And so you've got your little task going, and Base's got her little task going. At one point, one of the cattle, the steer, is not having it and kind of like kicks a bit, Beza, when you put its foot in the stirrup, and Arabeth kind of like hunkers down a little bit, kind of bear hugs the cow, and is like, "Okay, you just gotta hold on to it. Just gonna hold on to it hard. It's gotta know it's gonna stay there." So Beza, give me an athletics check as you're trying to like basically keep its foot still.
That's a nat 20.
Nice.
Of all the things. So that makes it a 22.
So with the 22, you're just like, "Okay, bud, you're not moving. I don't know why you're struggling." It's like when a very tiny dog is trying to pull its foot. You're like, "Dude, I gotta clip your nails. I'm sorry. You're not going anywhere." And Arabeth is just kind of like, "Okay, yeah, that'll work." And just sort of holds on, and Paru, are you like on the cow as you're trying? Like these are tall.
Oh yeah,
like,
she's probably
on like the
she
neck
just
of the cow, just kind of like.
Yeah. She's like,
and
considering
yeah,
how
so
often she just literally would climb Harlan like a tree to sit on his shoulder when they were walking because he was so much faster than her. She's like up and down. She doesn't really.
Yeah.
And every now and again, she's infusing different one with little spore colors that come on, so that they start to take on a little glow.
And at one point, when you feel the neck muscles of the cow, of the steer, tense, as it gets that little antsiness to it, and you feel a hand on your back of your leg, as Erebus like, hold on, don't fall.
She's like, it's okay, buddy, it's all right. And she just kind of lowly speaks to the cow, trying to calm it down as she's trimming, doing her druid shiz.
Give me another animal handling. Aminal. It's gonna be aminal handling.
Aminal handling?
I will never say it correctly.
25.
Okay. Yeah, and the cow, like, with the combination of Beza going, okay, don't thrash, you're not thrashing right now, and Erebeth sort of holding onto it, and you're, like, talking really softly to it, you sort of feel the, like, big exhale from it, and eventually just kind of, like, settles a little. Starts kind of shifting on its feet, but not kicking, not like, struggling.
It's like, okay, buddy, what color do you want? Do you like purples? Do you want green? What kind of bioluminescence do you want?
And you hear Erebeth go, his name is Aubergine, so...
Aubergine it is. And so she lets the little spores kind of go from her fingertips into the... I don't know if that actually... I mean, maybe she druid crafts it into his horns. Because I don't know how that would actually work mechanically.
Doesn't matter. It's magic. Who cares?
Yeah.
Rule of cool. I don't care.
So yeah, so she releases little aubergine spores that kind of light the inside of the antler.
Yeah, I imagine it's sort of like a fire ember sort of look, glowy dust, and then it kind of settles, and you see a little glow sort of start kick up on the little mushrooms.
Yep.
And you hear Erebeth sort of chuckle. You're real good at that.
Thanks. Learned it from the mushrooms themselves. She kind of chuckles. Ironically, I am not joking about that.
Really not.
We're not. Oh, this isn't like offending you, is it?
Oh.
She's looking around at all the mushrooms.
No, it's okay. Didn't learn it for these kind of mushrooms. She'll tell her a little bit about sniffs and the mushroom colony and the circle and.
Yeah, she's just like, she's fascinated. The idea of like sentient mushrooms, she's heard of that kind of stuff, but she's never seen it. She asks little questions. She's like, do they have faces? Do they like...
Some do, some don't. It depends on...
How do you talk to them if they don't like have a mouth?
So the spores, like where I was just kind of infusing, is how you communicate. They communicate via idea, memory, and emotion.
I mean, I've been to a few music festivals. I know.
Yeah, I mean, kinda. She starts laughing. She's like, I wasn't kidding entirely about Arlen not being invited to the next mushroom party. But yeah, the spores evoke emotion and memory, and so that's how they get their points across. It was funny. I spent so much time with them when I hooked back up with these guys. It took me, I don't know, a better part of a couple hours to remember that they couldn't understand me with just giving off spores, and I had to speak. It was just, you get used to communicating in one way and forget. So.
It was really funny watching it try, though.
I can imagine.
Just looking real hard at someone going...
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I get it. I spend so much time out here with them, sometimes I forget I'm not supposed to moo.
I understand that one.
Harland, you're still like sort of flattening. Flattening takes a little more time than breaking the ground. It's a little more finesse. You don't want to like make potholes or anything that the cows could hurt themselves in, so you got to be like smoothing it out. And as you're smoothing it out, because there's a moo in there, Hey, I swear half of these are accidental, and then I catch it and just roll with it. Harland, what is your passive perception?
That's a great question.
Actually, I'm curious. What are all of your passive perceptions? Because I really should have that written down.
13.
12.
15.
Only at 2.
11.
11. Okay, so
Oh,
only
lordy.
at 2. I heard all the numbers, and I don't remember the order they went in. So, could I please get them again real quick? Harlan.
13.
13, okay. Paru?
15.
15, okay. Beza? 13. 12? 12. That's right. You all have, like, you basically literally have a descending scale. Okay, so Harlan, as you are, as you're sitting, or as you're standing there, flattening the grass, you are, like, pushing it down, and there's kind of a rumble as you sort of lower everything. And you're staring down at the grass, and then there's like a flash of shadow over the grass. Like something flew above you. And you glance up, and you see wings. You see something big based on the shadow. And it's kind of hard to tell, but you're seeing like wings and like a thin tail, long neck. And it takes a second before it like swings back, and that's distinctly the shape of something on like the reptilian side of the spectrum.
Button?
Ari, you reckon you know what that there is up in the sky?
Arbeth looks up. Looks like a fucking dragon to me.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that as the standard dragon, I have not encountered one of the fucking ones.
Paru
But
coughs
you said
so
you
hard
had-
that she almost falls
She
off.
goes, oh, Paru coughs until Erebeth goes, but you said you had so many adventures.
And then she's off the cow because she's laughing.
Oh no, oh.
I'm fine. That was hilarious.
Goblin down. She lifts a hand up to help you up.
She grabs it.
just
Deceptively
want Paru-
strong with.
I just want Paru to be like Janet from The Good Place. Not a goblin.
Not a goblin. Except for she doesn't know that yet. She does not understand that she's not a goblin. Not a goblin.
As you see, and I mean, Erebeth was weirdly like cavalier about that. It seems like maybe she was just being sort of sarcastic. But then you see it circle back, and you hear a sort of like a weird, screechy kind of noise.
Well, that is decidedly not
down.
Button.
And you watch as it sort of descends down onto the field a little ways ahead outside of the cow pasture. And it like catches the wind and kind of floats down really gently, almost like the kind of sense memory you get is almost like a paper airplane kind of fluttering down. And
Uh-oh.
then you all see it. You kind of look out, and this draconic-looking thing, slender, has 4 legs, hits the ground, and then wings behind.
Paper dragon.
And it's covered in this very parchment-colored skin. And there's little like texture all over it, and it takes a second for you to notice that there's like print on it, and it kind of gets a little closer. And it gets a little closer, and you see these moving like words and titles and numbers. You recognize a couple of signs, sort of kind of look like the Reacclimation Center library labels. Um,
I'm assuming Power notices this too with her 15.
You all see this now. And it's just
Harlan?
and like sort of starts stalking forward.
Isn't that the one that Villain summoned?
It does look that way.
It looks like the paper drake.
We might have a problem.
Can I get a read on like if its behavior is threatening, if it's just being, or if it's like, is it hunting, is it stalking, is it just does it just happen?
It looks like it is stalking. Its neck is down, it's like sniffing around, and it sees the movement where you all are in the herd and just kind of stalks forward, tail whipping side to side, and it's kind of looking around, and it stops a little. Its head quirks. It looks angry. It might just be how its face is made, but these like pinpoint white eyes kind of looking at you, Harlan, because you're the closest.
Oh, how are you now?
Kind of looks out at the cattle, starts stalking towards the cattle, or at least that fenced area where Paru and Beza and Arbeth are.
Hey now, y'all come back. Y'all come back over here. Yeah, you don't want none of that.
What is Harlan's mom's reaction? I assume everybody sees this.
You're on the other side of the house. This is in the back.
Oh, so do we hear it land, or we're just chilling with these margs hard?
Oh my god, yeah. I mean that, but also, Harlan, as you tell it, like, y'all come back here, it turns to you and just goes, like, it screeches, and that is something you hear, Aliette. You hear an echo of like a screech. Like it's not the basilisk. It's not the basilisk.
And Paru does yell for Aliette.
So, I think Harlan will. What's the outside of the pasture? What's the like?
It is
scope of
grassy. Like... It's similar to the inside of the pasture.
Okay.
Little tall grass. Probably goes up to your like calf, maybe a little lower than your knee.
Okay.
And it hisses at you, Harlan. It doesn't move right away. It does kind of. Excuse me. It does kind of stop when you say something, and it just sort of snarls at you. It doesn't make a move at you, just makes an angry noise.
Now, I don't know why you decided to land on the Five Branch Ranch, but if you came seeking a tussle, we can surely oblige you. We'd rather not, though. We'd rather, invite you in for, a bit of tea or a bit of supper, and as long as you can chore.
Mm-hmm. We have gotten a $15 donation.
Correct, and as this thing kind of at you, Harlan, you get this feeling of like a little bit of a stomach ache, and there's a little and you feel like the air, like the fur on your arms kind of stand up on end, and there's a little like ripple in your vision for a second. And that is we will roll.
Yes, we will. Yes, it was. Yeah, I gotta figure out why. Yeah, so can you spin it and I'll go back to the other one real quick? And we can... Sorry. I will fix that next time. Freaky Friday.
Okay.
Sorry about that. We went back and we did the spin, and I am so sorry. I have to fix that next
We'll get that
time.
worked. Yeah,
Didn't
we'll
realize the sound didn't pipe in properly.
It's okay. We'll get it done. So, Mike, I am assuming that Kyle's gonna be the target of this, just because of the fact that he's being attached to the moment. Okay, so so how many people are in the scene? We have Paru, Beza, Arabeth, and the cows.
Mm-hmm.
And Harland.
And the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And Harland. But Harland can't be this. I'm gonna roll a d6.
Alright. I'm afraid.
So am I. Especially because the name Freaky Friday gives me a very specific idea of what might be about to happen.
Beza.
Oh boy.
So, as you feel this ripple, Harland, you are face in a hoof of a cow. And you're like, what? And you look down and your hands are pale white. You're like, oh god, I'm not blue anymore. And you look and you see, oh god, there's a sword in my arm. And Beza, you blink for a split second and there's a goddamn drake in front of you. And you're much taller than you're used to. The point of view, and you look down and you are wearing overalls. And so for the next scene, which happens to be combat.
What my god.
And
you two have switched places.
Oh my god.
It's a situation where you need to share each other's character sheets with each other so that you know what the other person can do.
Yeah, thankfully we can.
Oh my lord.
TT Beyond campaign.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we'll think about how it works. It's fine. How about we do it this way? I
can see the character sheet.
Okay.
Oh my god, you only have that many hit points in your... Oh god.
Okay, so here's what we'll do. I'm so happy about this. Thank you, Mike.
This is so wild.
So, Beza, you're like, what just happened? And just for the audience, we got permission from the players to do this one. Like, everyone's aware of what could be on the wheel.
Yeah.
So, Beza, you see the paper drake looking at you. And Harland, you are near the cow. You see your sister. You see Paru, and they're both looking at this scene happening as you are being approached by a drake, and you are very far away from yourself.
Does anyone know exactly what's happening here?
Oh my god, this is the best day.
I think something might be wrong.
So, Oliette, you hear Paru yell for you after you hear the snarling, and Francine looks up, and Mamito and Quixotic look up, and oh my, what is going on out there? And they both, the three of them, sort of trot down the porch, go around. You hear Trace kind of and follow Mamito. And Alia, do you follow them as they go around?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I hear Paru scream my name, I think I would have jumped up and, kind of bounded down the steps to the porch to at least look around the house.
Sure.
I would assume I probably recognize the very distinctive appearance of this particular. Okay.
You get ahead of the three women behind you, and you see Harland in the distance squaring off against what is clearly that drake that Verlaine summoned out of that book with just snarling at him.
Yeah, I think I just... Okay. I think just my initial reaction is like, get in the house, get in the house, go get in the house, go get in the house. And I will to them, and then I take off towards the field.
Sure, and Francine sort of like, is like, all right, yeah. Come on, girls. We'll wait inside. And Mamito's sort of like, yeah, Trace, come on. And they head over, and you break in a run towards the field. Beza, I'm gonna have to remember this. Bazend, you are
Bazend.
Oh my god.
And Harla. No, Beza, you watch as this drake sniffs at you, and then like he's probably like 10-15 feet away, just sort of sniffs, and then turns, looks back towards the cattle, starts stalking towards the other group. And Paru,
spells work. She starts, like, waving her hands around because she doesn't know what the fuck he does to cast a spell.
And you're in a panic, so roll me a D100.
Oh no! Can Paru look over at Erebeth, that shepherd's crook that she has?
Yeah.
Do you need this?
Now go ahead, take it.
Shillelagh.
92.
92? Okay. What? Okay.
Uh-oh.
Sure.
Oh my god.
You don't notice anything... Well, you don't notice anything particular right now. You do feel a little like... What? Tummy ache. That was weird. God, I have a stomach. God, I'm gonna be hungry again. You see as the drake is just trotting or like stalking back towards the other group, and the cattle, and Erebeth's like, oh shit, he's thinking to try to eat my cows.
Paru's
so.
Very not perturbed by this. She's very like, this is inconvenient.
As Paru casts Shillelagh, the entire staff converted to being covered and wrapped in thorny vines that just start oozing this kind of sickly green off of them.
Rad.
That's okay. I'll put it back when I'm done. I promise.
You do you.
Would that be better if that couldn't fly away?
I mean, I'd rather it not be near the cows.
Let's see if we can ground it. And she's gonna cast Earthbind.
Okay, everybody roll initiative, because this is absolutely a
Oh yeah, no, it is absolutely
hostile event.
That is a hostile action. Like, okay, I have a weapon and you're not going anywhere. If I can help it.
18.
18, okay.
Also 18.
Heather, would you mind doing initiative first?
16.
Like just tracking it in, you can do it in Discord if you want. It's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
15.
I need a second to pull up the...
What was yours, Tessa?
16.
Harland?
13.
Also, Kyle, I fucking love the names you gave your spells.
Yep. Name them based off of what they do in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The paper drake is gonna roll initiative. It got a nat 1. Well, what are you gonna do? That is a total of 4.
I'm assuming that Oliet's dex is probably a higher bonus than the one that I currently have as Harland.
+2 to my dex. or +2 is the modifier or the bonus, whatever.
Yeah. So you go first. You're 18.
Oh, great. That's helpful. That's helpful for all of us.
It's Aliette, Beza, Paru, Harland, and then the Drake.
Okay. How far am I from all of this as it's going down?
We're gonna say that you are 1 round away from being within like attack, like within like ranged attack range, but like your spells, you probably have some spells that would be able to do it. So say you're maybe like 90 feet out at the beginning of the turn.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have anything that you can run forward and get in range within your run, so if you within 60 feet, if you can do something 60 feet away, you're
okay.
You'd be okay.
Okay. Gosh, I think. Let's see. Racing forward. Oh gosh. Okay. What's hilarious is I have no idea what's gone on with Beza and Harlan, so I.
Nope. Neither does Paru or
yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, honestly, Harlan doesn't really know what's going on between Beza and Harlan right now.
That's funny. Okay.
I love that this happened during combat.
It's ridiculous.
Frickin' Mike. Okay.
I guess I'm going to. Hang on. Let me make sure this isn't an action before I do this. Okay, no. I am going to take to the air, since my flying speed equals my walking speed.
Nice.
And I will move forward 30 feet so that I can get within 60 feet of this individual, this entity. And
the technical term is son of a bitch.
This son of a bitch. And I will. Oh gosh. This is why did I just inflict this punishment on myself and not prepare proper spells?
You didn't know
Okay,
you were
here's
gonna
one. I had no idea. I had no idea I was gonna fail a drinking contest. Okay. I'm going to race forward in the air, and I think just kind of call out towards this entity that I recognize as Drake. And I'll just like scream out, what is it? Back off, you waste of parchment! And I'm attempting to cast Vicious Mockery.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
So it has to succeed on a Wisdom save. It might very well do so.
We'll find out.
We will see.
Rolled a 10.
Oh, it fails. The save is at 13.
It's not like really wise.
Yeah. So 1d4 psychic damage.
Okay.
And it has disadvantage on its next attack.
Good, because it can attack a lot. So
3 points of psychic damage as an action.
3 points. All right. So it just kind of it just has this little kind of twitches a little bit. There's a little flutter of paper, and it looks at you, Oliette, and its eyes get real bright.
Don't like that.
Wide-eyed, very fixated on you.
Okay, that's fine. As my bonus action, I will. Because I think I have to do this as a bonus action. As a bonus action, I'm going to. Oh no. Okay, I'll do that on my next turn. As a bonus action, I'm actually just going to call out to. I think. Can I see everybody?
Yeah,
at this
see
point,
the whole field. At this point, you can see the whole thing.
Okay. I will call out to probably Harland or Harland's form, since that's the one that looks like it's closest to this Drake. Sure. And I will I am going to give Bardic Inspiration to Harland.
Cool.
Or whoever that is. Bayland. And to do that, I think I just say, it's okay that you look really weird today. You're still the same inside.
So nice.
So you, I guess. So I guess technically Beza gets the inspiration.
Heather gets inspiration.
Yeah, Heather gets inspiration. That's much easier.
So is it a D6?
It's a D6 on any ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. And it's for the next 10 minutes. So you can choose to use it after you roll, just before you know the outcome.
Gotcha. Okay, and now it's my turn.
Correct.
In Harlan's body.
Have fun.
Okay, so
Wild.
Beza doesn't entirely understand what's happening, but she's angry and she understands that somehow she's inside Harlan's body, which is very weird.
Mm-hmm.
So she just yells at, especially after hearing Oliette, yells at the Drake.
Do it.
Crazy.
Do it.
Listen here, you waste of spilled ink. I said stop it. And that triggers one of Harlan's spells that he renamed Stop It.
Incredible.
Thank
you.
She doesn't mean to, but she's like gesturing and suddenly a chaos bolt shoots out of her finger. So let's see. Okay, that was not a great roll. So I think I'm gonna add the d6.
It is called Stop That because that's what everybody says whenever it happens.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Does a 16 hit?
A 16 does hit.
Yay for bardic inspiration. Okay. Okay, so that is 14 points of damage. I have to look
Okay.
on a chart to see what kind of damage. So that is 14 acid damage.
All right. Wow. Yeah. And so this is so good. It looks like the picture now. You shoot this bolt out of Harlan's hands, and this glob of like yellow green just sort of splashes on one of the wings of the Drake, and you watch as the paper just melts in this splatter pattern, and there's just a hole, and the wind is sort of picking up, and its wing has been burned through, and it just sort of howls and snarls, and it kind of looks back away from Oliette and stares down the giant Faebles that has burned like a word down the middle of like a whole paragraph, just right in the middle, burned away, and it's sort of like fraying at the edges. It's almost like you lit it on fire, but it's acid. So it's just sort of leaking on the edges, so the hole is kind of growing a little. It's just like, and is very mad, very very mad.
And I haven't played a sorcerer in a while. I don't think there's any bonus action. Oh, actually,
Is there?
this one might come in handy.
Uh-huh.
Given the current circumstances.
Okay.
So, Baze is like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And hidden
with it. It's so good.
hidden step kicks in. So I turn invisible until the start of my next turn.
Nice. All right. Very cool.
I can't mark anything, so I just have to remember what I'm using.
Amazing. Okay.
Paru.
Okay, so Paru has her she's got the shillelagh that she is now cast with all its vines. She is going to start running towards it, and of course, being that she is quote unquote not a goblin, is actually faster than she would normally appear to
little
be
goblin.
so very quick.
Little not a goblin.
Quick little not a goblin. And as she's running, cast Earthbind to keep it on the ground. So I need a strength saving throw.
Okay. Let's do a strength save. Oh, actually, that's shockingly not that bad. It has a negative strength score.
Oh.
It's a 16 total.
Roll
real well.
It doesn't work. My DC is only a 13, so.
So it sort of, you see the, go ahead and describe
Yeah, these yellow strips of energy kind of launch themselves around from the ground, trying to hold it down and wrap over its wings to ground it. But apparently it kind of, they shatter as it moves.
Like maybe just a little jolt of energy and rage from being burned. Just kind of lets out a hiss.
All right. So then as she sees it shake it off, she goes, okay, fine then, and lets out her wild shape. And this time, instead of doing the beast shape that she had been doing, she goes ahead and does the symbiotic entity, and all of the spores inside of her kind of come to the surface, and you see like the little bioluminescence begin to kind of roll off of her shoulders as she suddenly looks a lot beefier, and she gains 12 temporary hit points and begins to like kind of this halo begins to circle around of these little tiny spores in this kind of sickly green color as she begins to basically emit necrotic damage when she hits with a melee attack or this thing gets close to her. So she just is launching herself towards it.
You hear a couple of very startled cows.
I don't know if I can get there in time, but she is running. Full tilt.
I would say you might not get into melee range this time, but you'd be like within 10 feet of it.
Oh, excellent. That's
your turn.
Perfect. So yeah, so if it's within 10 feet of me or starts its turn there, it's gonna take within 10 feet of me. It'll take some damage. So
cool. Does it have to roll anything, or does it just take the damage?
It'll make a con save at the start of its turn.
Okay. Well, I believe it is the start of its turn. No, it's Harlan's turn.
Yeah.
It's Harlan's turn, and the Drake is on deck.
Harlan in Beza. Nope. Harlan as Beza. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, that's better.
Harlan has probably seen Beza in action, like during the time that they spent in the book, so he like understands some of what she's capable of doing. Yeah, just like
try to do like a Spider-Man thing. Like, how do you do this?
I'm not really sure how this is supposed to work.
I'm getting like Woody Allen, not Jersey Wife.
I can.
God. Okay.
I think it's perfect. Don't stop. Don't ever stop.
I don't want it to stop. I'm just saying that's what I'm getting.
Love it.
So we can use anything that's on the character sheet?
Yeah.
I just want... Awesome.
Yeah, you are the character. You're Freaky Friday.
I think I need to be bigger. And so it's going to be basically like one of the runes on Beza's...
It's on her back. It's on her back shoulder blades. Yeah, so like this rune of Her Majesty of the Hunt starts glowing on Beza's back as just the air shale form of her just starts growing in size to a large creature. Nice. I love the fact that she's small and just does a large creature.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't matter. If she was medium, she'd go to large, but it's amazing. So you just watch as Bazend turns into, no, I was calling it Harla because it's whoever the first letter, whoever's in the brain gets the beginning of the name. So Harlan, you're used to being tall. For a minute, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I'm back to normal. Oh, that's much taller than normal. And you are a large creature.
And he'll charge forward.
Same speed though, unfortunately. She's just slow. Did your speed increase too when you go to large?
I don't.
So.
I think it.
Because if it doesn't, it's just like you know, it's that the principle of animation of timing. You just seem real big.
Mention.
I think all my gear and everything changes size.
Right, but your speed.
No, speed doesn't look like speed is affected.
Okay,
Does it-
so you're
doesn't
still at
mention-
25 movement. So it will take you probably 2 rounds to get to the Drake in melee range. But if you have anything ranged,
Yes. We'll move forward and fire longbow.
fire the longbow.
Fire the longbow. But I'm a little tired.
I wasn't having nap and send fires the longbow.
Oh,
Okay.
Beza, did you cast a spell, right? Okay. I'll tell you what happened in a second. It doesn't impact anything right now.
All right, so roll the hit, and oh, that's a 22.
22
hit?
will definitely hit.
All right, and that's a D8 plus a D6 because of giant size.
Yep. Nice. I love that your first actual combat is not playing your character. Hope that doesn't mess you up next time.
No. Total of what's a D8 plus 3, so that's 8 plus a D6, which is 3, so 11 points of piercing damage from an arrow.
11 points of piercing damage. Okay.
Yeah,
Hold
sir.
on.
Hold on, let me double check something. So this is a question for Angela, which may affect what Kaya wants to do also. So, my runes are on my hands.
Right.
Because I don't wear armor. But one of the things it lets you do, the runes can be inscribed anywhere and be activated. They don't specifically have to be activated on a particular weapon.
Okay.
So if you want to, Kyle, as if you have actions left, you could technically activate one of the other runes also.
Yeah. I'll say you could do that at any whatever timing you want because you're not familiar with the character. So I would give you a pass on that if you want to do it before you hit or anything.
Well, it says when you hit a creature with a weapon attack.
Okay. Yeah.
So essentially that as soon as the arrow hits, there's like a rune that glows on the arrowhead, and these like large like wreaths of flame come out of it that look like these giant manacles to try to like clamp down around the beast. It's a strength saving throw.
Oh, the thing it's terrible at. Great. That's a 6.
So it is restrained for the next minute.
Nice.
And something is going to happen at the start of its turn.
Yay.
Great. Well, a couple things are going to happen at the start of its turn right now because I have to make a save for Oliette?
No, for me.
Or something? No, for you, for Paru. So what do I have to make what kind of save?
Con save, please.
Con save, okay. Con, it's much better at. Yes, much better at con than strength. It's meant for survival, not for fighting. Non-natural 20.
Okay, so you will take half.
Okay. Just let me know what that is.
Let's see. 3, because because I am in my thing, I get double, but it's halved, so half of 6 is 3. Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
So 3
and
necrotic damage.
Gotcha. Beza, when you cast your Chaos Bolt, you felt a little funny, like cold all of a sudden, and you realize that the buttons on Harlan's overalls are like pushing into you really hard. And is there anything else metal on you, Harlan?
Probably.
Let's say that there's like, I don't know, a set of keys or something, and you suddenly feel.
Oh no!
Do you have any weapons? Like
he's got a shovel.
Funk, like in the back of your shoulder blades, the shovel's pushing really hard. For the next 6 rounds, you are incredibly magnetic.
Oh boy!
Good thing that this isn't a metallic dragon. Watch out for the paper clips.
Staples! Ah!
Yeah, the staples. Its teeth are made of staples.
Oh
No, its claws are staples and its teeth are paper clips. Anyway, sorry, tangent. That is what happened when I rolled for everybody. That's what happened when you rolled on the Wild Magic. So now, okay, so we're back to the paper drake. The paper drake took damage from Paru. It is restrained, which remind me again, Kyle.
So it basically like its fiery shackles have
Can't move.
Wrapped it. Well, I don't know what
restrained creature's speed becomes 0 and it can't benefit from any bonus. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. And
it has double disadvantage now, which is just disadvantage.
And so, it has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
Okay. All right. So actually, that's good. I have a combat tracker I've been using, so it is restrained. And all right, so it is who's near it? I think Paru and
something else happens at the start of its turn. It takes 10 points of fire damage from the shackles.
And it can yeah. So its legs are shackled by this thing, and you just hear singeing, and Olia, you hurt a little inside as you see paper burning. All that information. As you try to stifle that back down, it's like, no, that's old Oliet, shut up. And as it singes, you see it sort of stumble a little bit, and it sort of really hates having these shackles on, and it like kind of takes a second for it to get back up, and it looks like it's struggling a little bit, like that like really kind of shook it a bit more. And you think paper, so not necessarily that it's specifically weak to fire, but this is me telling you it's bloodied. I'm gonna try to see if we can do that more organically. Anyway, so yeah, it is sort of stumbling a little bit, and it takes a look at the thing that's grounding it, and it is going to lash out with a few attacks. First, it's going to try to bite you. So it's going to try to bite you, and does a 11 hit?
Beza? No.
No, I'm shooting for Paru.
Oh, Paru? Yeah. No, an 11 does not hit Paru.
Okay. What about 23?
That definitely hits me.
Okay. And what about a non-natural 20?
Yeah, that definitely hits me as well.
Okay, so you watch as this thing shackled and sort of torn down to the ground. What is that? Just means it can't fly for you, Paru? What
Correct.
You did?
Correct.
Okay, so it's like sort of hitting down. It snaps at you and misses, and then it gets out with a claw. You see the shackles sort of. We're gonna say the shackles are on the back feet because just logistically. Yeah. It tries to claw at you, and it did hit there. So it's
it hit me twice.
Yeah, it does 13 slashing damage.
Okay.
As you just, I hate it. You just get paper cuts.
Thank God for those temporary hit points that I had. They're all gone now.
Sorry
with one.
I'm really sorry about that. And then you watch as its tail goes and like whips at you and does another 16 slashing damage.
Jesus Christ.
Please give me a Constitution save.
All right. Good lordy.
Was this like Uncle John's bathroom reader or something?
Christmas.
I was angry.
7.
Nope. Paru, you watch as this thing, like this tail whips out and just like smacks you across the face, and you kind of shake, and you are like you take a knee, and you're like, that hit hard. You are incapacitated for the next round.
Yeah. She is bleeding very heavily after just those 2 hits. Like, her nose is bloodied. The spores are kind of like leaking a bit more, and she's down to 4 hit points after those 2 attacks. Thank God for the temporary hit points, or she'd be out.
Oh boy.
All right. So, I think that is the end of its turn. Well, as it feels like it did some damage. Does it drop? Your spell?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I can't
feels like
roll high enough to keep the spell on it.
It feels like its wings have gotten loose, and it kind of flaps, and it gets a little. Doesn't get much air though, because the shackles are still on it, and it can't move out of its space. But it is sort of hovering a little off the ground, and it looks up at you, Oliette, and it's angry, and it wants to get to you so bad. You can see it.
It does get a strength save at the end of its turn to try to break the fire shackles again.
Okay, so as it starts lifting, let's see if I can break the shackles. Yeah, you got a 5. No. So you know the best way to be a DM and make your players feel better about the monsters? Be real passive aggressive towards your own monsters. I can't imagine it couldn't get out of that.
Who designed you?
It's the worst at trying to do that. It is the end of its turn. We are back at the top with Oliette. You see this thing sort of stuck to the ground as its back legs are trapped in these shackles, and it's watching you, and it's really intently focused on you, Oliette.
Okay. I mean, seeing Paru get the shit beat out of her, that's obviously going to change my...
Yeah.
I don't break eye contact at first. I'm kind of making a wide berth, and I'm going to head 30 feet in Paru's direction.
Okay, still in the air?
Yes, I'm not going to leave the air. I would say,
Sure.
I mean, I'm not that high up. I'm probably about 15 feet in the air.
That's fine. Paru is within 10 feet of this thing, so you'll get a little. You'll be like, you'll either be 10 feet, like 10 out, 15 up. Is that where you're gonna go? Like you're over Paru, or
yeah, I need to be. I want to get to as close to Paru as I can.
You can drop down in front of her if you want, or like next to her. I guess not in front of her. You can be behind her. But
okay.
You'll be within 15 feet of it.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. It seems like you saw the tail whip out, and you're like, okay, this maybe is far enough.
Yeah. I will, on my way there, start to kind of under my breath, like, okay, be the knight, defend your brothers, be the knight. And I'm going to bestow the tail upon myself.
Yes, very good.
As an action.
Okay. Awesome. So that dream comes back to you, as you said, you sort of remind yourself of it. And what does it do?
Yes. So it doesn't do anything just yet. It will, however, take effect probably during this Drake's next turn.
Okay.
I will, however, as a bonus action, cast Healing Word on Paru at 2nd level.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So that is 2d4 plus 3. Okay, so that's 7 points of healing, which is not the worst.
I'll take it.
7 points.
Gets me to half. I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
right.
So 7 points of healing, and then that is my turn.
All right, awesome. We are at who is next? We are at Beza. So Heather. Heather, in Harlan's body, what does Beza want to do? It's way easier for me to just think of you as your players.
It's fine. So I'm not right next to the Drake, right? I'm not.
No, you are not. You're a little bit back. You're out of its range.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Let me Well, yeah, spellcasters. What you gonna do? So I think especially after seeing what just happened to Paru, she's kind of pissed off. The invisibility drops at the start of my turn, and she just says, "Now I said stop it." And this time I'm gonna cast it at 2nd level.
Now see here.
To hopefully do more damage.
I just realized this is the first combat where Paro has not been backed up by a gigantic fucking mushroom.
Yeah, she has to.
She's so used to running and Snips is right behind her.
The 15 hit.
A 15 does hit.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so that's gonna be 10, 16 points of. Sorry, I have to look at the chart. 16 points of poison damage.
Whew. Okay. Let me check something. Yeah, you're good. Yeah. So you watch as this poison. You know what happens? You watch as the you gotta love when you figure something cool out. So you watch as this poison. What did you cast again? Remind me.
It's a chaos bolt.
Oh, it's another chaos ball. Okay.
Yeah.
So instead of that acid, that like yellowish green, you see this like pitch black with a little green shine on it, kind of spit out at this thing, and it hits the Drake straight in the chest. And you watch as all of that slime, that sort of like poison, leaks into the ink words. Ooh. And it starts like coursing through, underlining words and like smearing some of the lettering across its paper, and you just see this little shimmer of green kind of move through, like you change the font colors, and it just kind of like shakes. How much was that?
16.
Shit. And you just watch it kind of twitch, and it's really not looking good. It's just like trying really hard to sort of like scratch at you, but it's like sort of like not having a good time staying together. You sort of see some of the folds coming undone, some of the like origami precision of this thing kind of tearing and wrinkling a little.
Okay.
Yeah, you messed it up good.
I don't think I have anything else I can do.
Okay. Paru, you are incapacitated.
Correct. I can do nothing.
When you are incapacitated, correct. You can't take actions or reactions. Oddly, I guess bonus actions count as actions. I was like, it doesn't specifically say bonus actions. Anyway, Harland, your turn.
Right. So, I'm gonna move up the rest of the way and try to practice horticulture.
Okay.
Stab, slice, like calling it like. Yeah.
I do a yeah and a yeah and I hit her, sir.
And take that.
Spell names.
Okay, go ahead
so
and
gonna attack a bunch.
All right, cool. Just let me know. Hit a 13. Tell me if you hit a 13. We'll just make this easier because you have to do multiple hits.
I'm a straight fighter, so there's action surge too.
Yeah.
Right.
So feel free.
That is a 13 on the first one.
Okay, that'll be a hit.
I'll just roll hits, and I will use action surge if
yeah,
maybe.
That's fine. Roll everything. Just tell me how much damage you do, basically.
Cool. Higher that time, and
another hit.
Nat 20.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna keep rolling. That's fine. Tell me when you're done rolling.
That was the third one. That was
okay.
Yeah.
So your nat 20 is going to be rolling once and then taking the maximum as well. Adding the max you could roll. Yeah. If anyone's wondering from a DM perspective why we do crits that way, it's because if you roll double dice, you could roll 2 1s and it doesn't feel special. But if you guarantee the maximum possibility of a single hit, your crits are going to feel special, and whenever you roll extra, it's just gravy.
And is it all the dice on the roll? Because I get an extra d6 for being giant size right now.
On the roll that was a nat 20, yes. Not on all your rolls.
Awesome.
But yeah, go ahead.
That's great.
I will, yeah, you're gonna have to do a little math there. It's still one, it's a roll and a max, but
yeah.
But go ahead.
So, okay. For the crit, we'll just do that because, yeah. So the crit was, well, no, do you want me to go in order? Because I can go in order.
Just give me the total.
Okay. Okay. That's gonna take me just a second. So
that's fine. I will continue vamping while you do that. So
talk about our sponsors.
No, I'm gonna vamp in the game. We're in combat.
Okay.
And so as Beza's arms are extended, this massive blade out of Beza's arm, you just watch slice, kind of cut across its chest, and you see sort of this paper flapping in the wind, sort of open, this like open chasm of just more paper. You get, you take one of the like horned points off its wing, just cut that off, and another just jerk right into its chest with the blade, just a punch forward. How much
for
damage?
44 damage.
44 damage. You did almost enough to take it to negative half its hit points.
Nice.
And you just watch as just like a freaking paper shredder, Beza's giant form just starts hacking and cutting, and it's not blood, it's ink, black, splattering across the grass as you just keep cutting into this thing, and there's just more ink splatter, and the letters and the words start smearing off with the and yeah, so it's just every time you hit, words just splatter off the pages that make up this paper drake, and eventually you just like, well, it's attached to your wrist, you can't do this, but eventually it's just one solid right down the head of this thing, and it's just, and you like cut it like you're cutting, like it's like one of those
big paper chopper.
It's the paper cutters that they have those really awful warning stickers on. It's like that. And
the
you
guillotine
just
cutters.
straight down the center, and you just and there's just pages, like you see the layers of pages down its head, and there's just ink pouring out of this thing, and it just hits the ground and stops moving. It only twitches once more as you pull with a foot for bracing, pull the sword out of its head, and there is ink all over the grass.
I could use a shower.
And as that happens, actually no, this still counts as the scene. You guys are still in the same bodies.
And everything just kind of curled into herself and is just like, they found us, they found us, they found us, they found us, they found us.
It takes a second, Paru, for you to even like shake conscious enough to have that panicked thought, but then yeah. And you're all free to move about the cabin. Arabeth looks and is like, what the fuck was that? Londa, you okay? Yelling at you, Beza.
Just fine.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. And Arabeth like sort of surveying everything and makes a bolt over to you, Paru.
Paru looks fucked up.
Kneels down. How you doing, darling?
They found us.
You look like shit.
They found us, they found us, they found us, they found us.
No, it's good. No, it's fine. Hey. You good? You're okay.
I'm looking around. I'm trying to see if this has drawn the attention of anyone else on the farm. Does it seem... I want to scan the horizon, see if I see anybody watching.
Well, you see... give me a perception check then if you're actually going to be like... I get what you're talking about.
Okay.
You do instinctively just see farmhands like kind of running towards the ranch.
That's a
fence line.
17.
Yeah, you see Hector and a bunch of the other farmhands rushing forward towards the fence line. You also see that Francine and Mamito and Quixotic are on the back porch. And Francine rushes back into the house and starts heading back. She's got a satchel, and she's running forward. I think maybe medical aid. And you kind of look around and you check this. You just instinctively sort of check the forest line, and you're looking, and you don't see anything other than the people you expect to see here.
Okay. I think while we're all kind of congregated, I grab what I guess I think is Harlan's arm.
Sure.
Just like, we got to get out of here. We can't stay here anymore. We got to do this. Say your goodbyes. We got to go.
Well, I think things got a little mixed up because unless I'm even more confused than I think I am, I'm actually Beza.
Oh my god, the dragon hit you too? I didn't even see that.
No, I didn't get hit, which is a good thing because I'm not sure Harlan could have taken it. No, I mean, my body is Harlan's, but my brain is Beza's. I'm a little confused. Harlan, do you know what's happening?
Got no clue.
What the hell?
What the fuck?
That's what I'd like to know. I mean, magic's interesting and all, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with it.
I mean, stranger things have happened.
Arabeth looks up at... I mean, by this point, Beza's form starts kind of shrinking back down. And Arabeth, like, still at Paru's side, just like, what the fuck? Lundy? Staring at Beza.
Physically only, not mentally at the moment.
Hi, sis.
I don't know what's happening either.
You're the big sister again.
I hate this. I hate this.
I hate everything right now.
How can we slap him, or how do you undo this? Is this some of your weird stuff, Harlan? How do you undo this?
This has never happened before. It is Woody Allen. It is
really
Woody
is.
Allen.
Absolutely wouldn't know.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Push it more Jersey Turnpike. Come on. Go
We were
Jersey
watching
Shore.
The Town
Let's
last weekend. I can't quite get it.
go. I think the part of the problem is you're going nasally and high. If you went like a little lower, you could probably get a little lower and be a little more. I don't know where that is. It's probably not. Anyway, Paru, Arabeth is like crouched down next to you, and just kind of sticks there while Francine
She's
runs.
still a little dazed, right?
Yeah.
She kind of looks up and goes, "You're really pretty." Just kind of leans against her.
You lost a lot of blood.
Details.
I mean, still accurate, but yeah. And she's like, "Mama," and you see Francine rush forward, and honestly, Arabeth just like grabs the bag from Francine and starts patching you up, Paru. There's just like gauze, and there's like stuff to clean wounds, which hurts. And she actually, let's see.
And that's the moment where Logan chimes in with "Mama, ooh, thank you, love."
Why?
Ooh.
So
Gay stuff.
here's alright, so here's what happened.
Oh no, I'm afraid.
You should be.
Oh no, I'm so afraid.
So as she's trying to Paru, you're a little out of it, but you know someone out of their depth when you see one.
Oh, honey.
And she's just kind of looking like she really wanted to help. And she's just kind of like, okay, so hold on. So like this bottle is the thing for and you get like something put on your face and it fucking hurts. It's not in a good hurt. It's like it's the wrong thing on. And she's like, oh shit, sorry. And you see Francie, hun, it's fine. I can handle it. And she's like, oh, fine. Sorry.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
She kind of stands up like, shit. She rolled in
It
that one.
didn't get any of the cows, right? It didn't get any of the mushrooms.
Yeah, it didn't really seem like it gave a shit about the mushroom.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
didn't
That's
affect anyone except for you, Paru.
yeah. Well, that's what I was afraid of.
You take an extra hit point HP of damage from the attempted administrations.
Oh my god. As I see this go down, I'm just like, oh, gross, messy. And I'll cast Healing Word again at first level. No, let's wrap this shit up. This is nonsense.
But the word is ew. That's definitely the word that is of healing.
Ew.
It's very good.
Okay. So that's... Oh, that's not bad. That's 6 points of healing.
Okay.
Back to you.
I'm okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay.
And,
So, like, we gotta go, though. Like, we gotta go.
But Button hasn't made it back yet. And if we go somewhere, he won't know where to find us.
well, thank you for...
We stay?
What do you mean going off, Francine? What do you mean going off to? You just got here. Y'all helped with the monster? I mean, what if there's more things around like that?
Well, we saw this before, where we came from, and it's now here, so we can assume that it's gonna come, follow us again. Just gonna keep coming. Unless this is the same one.
Too. It's the glasses. Can you take the glasses off when you're doing this? Just when you're doing this voice, please. It's really gonna help, I think. Okay, thank you.
Now I can't see which one of you is which.
It's fine. Just stare at the camera and we'll see.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I mean, do go a blink.
Good birds.
Suddenly it was John Favreau staring in the camera.
Oh my god.
Okay, so, we'll continue with the scene. Sorry. So yeah, Francine's just like, but, well, I guess we have to go. And Hector's like, y'all sure? You just got here. And Hector looks to you, looks to Harland, which is Beza. Doesn't know really what's going on. So Harland, you see your dad look at you as like, you just got here, son. Sort of.
The problem is that we don't know if someone's going to follow us again. And we don't know if this thing came after us or was tracking something else. We don't want to risk putting anyone else in danger.
I mean, I'm not exactly squishy, but that thing hurt. I know I look squishy, but damn.
Squishy, you look like a freaking badass.
You
did a whole lot.
Thanks.
Dang.
Thank you.
Speaking of which, Beza, you sculpt. I've seen you in action before, but this is just fine piece of craftsmanship, I must say.
I have to agree, Harlan. I've seen your spells working before, but I've never actually tried one myself. It's very effective.
Cat, clothesline you again?
I didn't realize she'd gotten under my chair.
Pay attention to me. Hey.
Hi.
Hey, listen.
I help you.
Oh my god.
And now the Tressum comes back and starts snuggling you.
Yeah,
right. So Hector and Francie, I mean, the whole clan, like all the farmhands and stuff, they start kind of circling the thing, like kind of, there's like ink everywhere. It's a little muddy now, mucky, in the grass, mucky muck, and
high above the
Can I get a closer look at this Drake?
absolutely.
What is written? Are there words left, or what can I assess about this?
A little. There's a few words left. They're kind of they're kind of leaking. It's almost like someone spilled water on fresh ink. So
Yeah.
they're kind of smearing a little bit, but you can catch a couple.
The drake in the mucky mug.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, you look through what's left of this thing. A lot of it's just shredded paper, but the couple of words that you can make out. Give me a perception check as you're kind of looking through, trying to find words that are readable.
19.
All right, so
Damn.
you find some legible stuff.
These diehards, yo.
So you glance through some of. I mean, honestly, do you touch it or do you just look at it?
I definitely don't think, I honestly don't think I am just like with my wings kind of hovering close, almost like fairy style, where my face is close to it, but my physical body is like removed a little bit. And I'm just trying to see if I see words of an arcane nature or commands or instructions or direction or like anything that would give me a clue as to maybe who sent this, why it's here, what it's made out of, something like that.
Sure. So you're looking through the faint words that you can make out in here, and you see some textbook text. You see a few very distinctive mathematical formulas that you recognize as some of the labels from the library. I don't remember offhand what book it was. Oh, yeah, it was just like a big atlas. You see a bunch of pages of an atlas. And while you're kind of looking through, you kind of glance around it, and you do, and the pages, when it was alive, they were moving. These words, they were sort of free floating around like a terrible screensaver. But now they're all stationary, and like I said, they're kind of leaking. And you kind of glance around and you see near its neck, like what's left of it after it basically got beheaded. You see like an illustration with a caption, and you see blue hair, you see horns, you see...
Why are you so obsessed with me, Jesus? Okay. Do I see all of us, or do I only see my own?
You see
visage?
Your face. That's all you saw, and the caption says "The Bookkeeper."
Oh shit.
Roll me investigation.
Oh my god.
As you deduce a couple of things for you.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna guide myself before you tell me anything. I'm gonna guide myself because I need help here. Okay. Okay. Investigation. 12.
12. You're looking at the illustration. I mean, the words give you pause. And you remember the dragon, or the drake, very fixated on you after it sees you. But you look at the illustration, and something about it is weirdly familiar.
Ow!
Damn cat. Damn Tresson. Mimi, stop biting people. Go back to slobbering. Something is oddly familiar about the style of the illustration. And you remember a little bit from... You don't remember anything from the drinking. But you remember being up in a tree.
Tucker's book.
God. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm a bitch.
You remember Tucker drawing in the book, and it's kind of similar style. There's some color, which is new. He was mostly working in charcoal.
And it's leaking, right? Like, there's no way for me to rip this off and save it because the ink is running.
You can try.
I'm gonna try. Yeah, to just rip this out so I can hold on to it and show it to somebody.
Sure. Give me a strength save, or not save. Check. You're trying to like.
Oh Jesus!
You're trying to. Actually, no. Give me a sleight of hand. You want to try to like delicately get the picture out. And not rip it in half. So yeah, sleight of hand.
Dirty money.
All right. And so you reach in. You're like, ew, gross, and you get this like paper drake shank of paper. It's like big chunk of it. It'd be super freaking gross if this thing wasn't made of paper. And like the edges have some of the black ink on them, and you see like the illustration is kind of melting on one side. It's very disturbing, sort of seeping to the bottom, but it's mostly intact, and it has the bookkeeper written on it.
Okay, I will. Oh. You guys, I need you to see this, and I'll kind of flutter over to where they're standing and show the three of them.
So, what are we looking at?
I'll like tilt the paper down for Beza's body to look at.
Beza, you look at the picture and your eyes start doing a little double vision. You're like, And when you stop blinking, or rather, Heather, Beza, actual Beza, your vision also starts blurring a little bit. And when your vision stops and you stop blinking, Oliette's right in front of you, and there's a picture being held in front of you. And Harlan, you're back in a different spot, and you look down and you're in your right bodies. We're gonna count this as a different scene.
It's so nice to be short again.
That's you.
Yeah, we switched back apparently.
No, the picture. It's you, Oliette. Is the bookkeeper?
I mean, she is, so I guess it makes sense, but that's concerning.
Has a certain ring to it.
I don't. This isn't from our book.
I don't.
No, it's not. It's not one of the pictures that Her Majesty of Beauty made. That's for sure. But
Harlan, where's Tucker?
Come from?
He's around. He
We have to find him right now. I think we have to find him right now.
Oh, well, all right. Mimi, go find Tuck.
Like, runs, splatter. Goes a little further. Yeah,
Horror,
you did.
You doing okay?
I'm fine. I'm good. We gotta. She starts to use the shepherd's crook to like haul herself up. Okay, so we need Tucker and then stumbles a little bit backwards. I'm fine.
Careful.
Okay, what do we got?
It's all right, Paru. Do you want to lean on me? I'm the right height.
Thank you, Beza. I'm good. I'm just more thinking of
Thank you.
if we have to go, then we need to leave some sort of clue behind for Verlaine and Button, because they can't be far behind now.
Well, Mom and Dad would be more than happy to point in the direction that they're supposed to go, but I mean, Oliette, why are we looking for Tucker?
It occurs to me as a player that I didn't tell anybody anything.
Secrets don't make friends, and friends don't make secrets.
I know.
Except when you're a mean girl.
Think about it. This looks. Oh, this is gonna sound crazy. I didn't think anything of it yesterday, but this looks exactly like the drawings that Tucker was doing yesterday in that book. And I know he only draws the family tree, but there's no other. This is exactly like what he was doing yesterday when I was talking to him.
Harland, you look at the picture. That doesn't look like how Harland draws. Or that doesn't look like how Tucker draws.
He must have gone to a different school while we were out, because I've seen him draw, and that's not his style.
It is. No, he showed me. It is. I saw it. I saw him drawing.
I'm sure we could find stuff to compare it to.
When did you see him drawing?
Last night at the party. He was by himself, just drawing, and I thought, I mean, I used to know what it was like to be a wallflower, so I figured I would be nice and talk to this poor kid. And he showed me what he was working on. This family tree thing is...
Yeah, that sounds like Tuck.
Did you
He was
see
really weird. Like, he was very sweet, shy, kind of. I don't know.
Hiding behind his hair?
I mean, I guess he didn't. I don't know. What?
Did you see his eyes?
No.
If there are people like Verlaine that can do similar things.
You hear Mimi. And from out of the barn, you see a farmhand trying to kind of like get Mimi off of Tucker. Burly, pudgy little furball guy, big thing of hair, big brush of bangs over his face. And he's like trying to keep Mimi from like pulling him by the pant leg. And he's just like, Mimi, stop it, you stupid dog, stop.
I mean, if they're not that far from us, I would just close the distance myself. Yeah, just fly over there.
Yeah. Stop. Gosh.
Mimi, off.
Up, I'm up. Stop it.
Tucker.
Yeah?
Hi.
Hi.
We hung out last night. It's all yet. I saw your book.
Last night?
Yes, we sat in the tree, we talked. You told me all about your art and how important Harland is now.
I was in the back with cousin Mortimer. He got some of Uncle Charlie's moonshine.
I am certain you remember me. Hello, like, look at me. Come on. Hello.
He looks, kind of parts his bangs and squints at you. Kinda, I guess. You were helping with the barn. Yeah, perception studio.
Hi, guys.
Reveals are afoot. Yeah.
I just turned
you see
slack-jawed to my friends.
Yeah, you see his like big brown eyes. They're kind of cow-like. He's got big eyelashes.
Sweet baby.
So
I immediately.
And the dog, the blink dog, is still like. Because Harlan has not told him not to.
Shoot. Okay.
Do you say anything, Harlan, to get Mimi to stop tugging on Tucker's leg?
Yeah, I said it already.
Oh,
Sorry.
Fine. She didn't hear it at first. You had to say it twice.
Mimi, down. Sit.
There's a big splatter. Oh, just slobber as the blink dog, and then comes down to your side. And
Tucker, do you have your book on you?
No. Where's my book?
Can I?
Don't take my book, Mortimer. Did you take my book?
Tucker, at any point, did you see somebody who had an injury over their eye or an eye patch at any point yesterday or since we've been here?
I don't remember much from yesterday.
Fair.
Tucka, does this piece of paper with this drawing on it look like the kind of paper that you had in your book?
No, this is like vellum. This is nice.
I don't even believe fully that they will hear me, but using the message feature of this book just out into the ether mentally. Elaine, you son of a bitch. No idea if it gets through or not. It like releases involuntarily almost.
Yeah. You don't hear anything back.
We all hear it.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. It's walkie-talkie style. It's everyone hears it.
Can I cast locate object?
Sure.
On the book that came from, holding that piece of paper. So yeah, she's gonna.
Oh wait, the book holding that piece of paper. Okay.
No, the book. Tucker's book.
Tucker.
Yeah.
You saw Tucker's book. He had it when he was
Yeah.
He might not have the book anymore.
It's Odin's Day today. One-eyed characters.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love that. So you cast locate object to try to find Tucker's journal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw it when you were cleaning the barn and Tucker was up on the rafters. He had it. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so yeah, I want to cast locate objects and see if it pings anywhere.
So you visualize the book in your mind and sort of like part of the somatic component. Is it somatic components to it?
Let me double check.
Because I like adding flavor.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, looks like there is.
Part of the somatic component is visualizing the object and like miming like you're handling it. Like what it would be like to hold it. And you sort of just like think in your mind about how big the journal was, and you just sort of close your hands around what would be the journal in your hand. And there's almost a little bit of pressure as you sort of like feel the object, and something just sort of pulls your attention towards the barn.
She starts wandering in that direction. She just follows it.
And you step into the barn. It's sort of dark. You get a little bit of sunlight peeking in from the early morning. There's a lot of shaded areas. There's lots of like sort of hay bales and things. There's some tables and stuff from last night. And you're following around and you sort of feel that tug pulling a little bit deeper into the barn. And there's a rustle from one of the piles of hay. Hear like sort of and you see just the tiniest in the shadow. You see this tiny little orange glow
Button
under the hay.
Button, come here, baby. Come on, baby.
And you sort of the hay, and you watch as the hay sort of scrambles, like shoves out, and sort of burrowing out of the hay. You catch the little weasel nose and the penguin
Button, sweetie,
on the back of Button, and Button just sort of scampers out and hits your like gets up on their hind legs and on his hind legs and sort of like in what the closest approximation to a puppy going up.
Oh, she like, is up and scooped in hair. Like, oh my god, I'm so glad you're here. You're okay.
Yeah. And so your fire weasel has been retrieved, but you still feel the tug towards where Button was hiding.
Yeah, she keeps looking. She'll
So
keep
you
following.
start kicking out the hay, moving it, and in this little nesty spot that clearly Button was like making a nest in, you see a little black journal.
I pick it up.
And tucked in the spine is a piece of charcoal.
I grab it.
Yeah.
And I look around. And I'll say it aloud. Verlaine, are you hiding in here?
I don't hear anything.
Button, did Verlaine come with you?
How well can you talk to Button?
I don't know that he really understands me without casting Speak with Animals.
He's like...
Just like, no, Mom.
Much more concerned with like, where's food? Where's comfort? Need physical affection. And
Yeah.
and you think you talk to Button, that's all you would hear.
Yeah, she's just like...
Need attention.
Yeah, she'll wrap him basically around her shoulder like a little warm scarf, bring the book with her, and like be kind of fishing for bits of toast left in her pocket, and like handing him food as she comes out of the barn with Button and the journal. And she'll make contact with Oliette and look at her in the eyes and kind of gesture at Button. Where there's one, I assume the other is nearby somehow. And she'll hand Tucker back his journal.
Tucker takes it, thank you.
It was buried in some hay in the barn.
Oh, that makes sense.
Really buried.
It's comfy in there. Starts flipping through pages. Kind of frowns a little bit, getting to some of the further back pages.
What's wrong?
Somebody was drawing in my book. Flipping through. Who's Sunshine?
I assume we all turn and look at Oliette.
Yep.
The paper I was holding that we showed to Tucker is like crumpled in my hand. There's like black ink just like dripping down both palms.
Yeah.
I don't even respond, honestly. I just turn heel and walk off, fuming.
Beza walks over to Tucker. Can I see?
Yeah. There you go. And you turn the page, and in the charcoal, it says, "There's more than one story, Sunshine."
Tucker, I hate to ask this, but is it all right if I take this page out of your book?
Can you like do the little foldy thing before you tear it out, so at least it's clean?
Yeah, I can do
You
that.
also think you
Love
can just use your
Tucker.
sword to do that.
Yeah, I can do that. And she flips her sword out.
Oh god.
Giant
For a
X-Acto knife.
second, you see his eyes from his things.
Sorry. I'll also make sure that I leave a little bit in so that your binding doesn't get ruined.
He kind of relaxes a little bit. Oh, okay. Thank you.
I learned good book etiquette from Oliette, so you don't have to worry.
That's my girl. That's my girl.
love this so much. Okay, so you get the piece of paper, and on the back of it there's a drawing. It's Oliette in the tree, from the perspective of someone sitting next to her.
So, I guess this means that our message was found. So we should be free to move on to whichever one of y'all we want to head to next.
It also means that everything that Verlaine knows about us is potentially a problem.
Fair. That is a fair point.
Might be harder to find. My farm. It's underground.
Well, we've been underground before. Yeah. We're no stranger to a subterranean adventure. That should be fine.
She's scratching Button on the head, looking very sad.
So, how many jugs of Uncle Charlie's moonshine do you think we need to bring Oliette?
Fair.
Let's let her make that decision.
Well, I wasn't gonna pour it down her throat. Just, give her the option.
If you were my friend, you would.
Oh.
Just kidding.
Where's the funnel?
I have started to storm off towards the house, and when I reach it, I am packing my things quickly.
So, I mean, there's still a bit of commotion going on. Not many people followed you to the barn. They're still kind of dealing with the corpse of the paper drake that seems to be slowly decomposing, biodegrading, if you will, paper. And they're trying to figure out how to clean up the ink that's sort of stained that entire area of the field. But Arabeth is dealing with the cattle, trying to like calm them down and basically set up. They start actually like disassembling some of the fence so that they can basically like cordon off the corpse and let the cows still like wander in a bigger space, because that area where they were dealing with them, that was small. That wasn't enough to let them graze and stuff.
Paro's gonna go over and help with that because it's the only way she can feel useful, and she'll just keep button on her.
Thank you. Arabeth sort of nods.
If we burn it, paper burns, it'll go away quick enough.
What about the non-paper stuff? And you see the ink. I don't know if that's... What if it gets in the ground? I don't know what it's going to do to my cattle.
I'll purify it. Don't worry.
She kind of looks a little surprised again. Oh, you're full of surprises. Thank you.
Should always keep a druid on hand. She just kind of grins.
Holland?
Yeah.
You should probably explain to your parents and your sister about Verlaine and how they should look out for him if he comes in a different form, just in case, now that he knows where they are.
Sure. And
the full story might need to be told.
And quickly. We should
all right. I mean, I did tell lots of stories last night, so I don't know how much of it was left out.
Well,
so you talk about so you talk to your family?
Yeah, cautioning him like this guy's, he's not a bad guy. He's just a little bit of a troublemaker. Likes to poke at times. That he can turn into other people, but that it's imperfect around the eyes. They should look out for that.
Specifically, probably missing one.
Yeah. I don't know if Mimi would have. Yeah, we'll leave that out.
Yeah. So your parents are justifiably concerned about what you gotten yourself into. Arabeth just like, fuck. Eventually, when she gets sort of the Cliff's Notes version. And your dad, it's like, so what are you gonna do? You're gonna just move on, hope that's the end of it? You think there's gonna be more coming after you?
Well, where there is smoke, there is fire. So, chances are that things will come after us again. We've dealt with a lot of different stuff back in the book, so it's not much concern. It's just the fact that it happened now, so soon after we left.
The Queen said he might take advantage of us leaving to come with.
That's true. Maybe. I mean, Verlaine was always a kind of like a trickster kind of person, but he never really caused major problems. This is a major problem, and he traveled a lot without any of us.
Well, if we run into him, I'm sure that we can ask him to tell his side of the tale.
Meanwhile, inside, I have packed all my things, opened back up to the back of the book, almost the exact same way that I did on the train. And
you still see your previous conversation.
Yeah. I think in slightly shaky script, because I'm so fucking mad. I just write, the champion of the Queen of Trade is a traitor. And I underline traitor like a bunch of times. I don't know if I even honestly wait for a response. I just slam the book closed, throw it in my bag, and head out of the house.
I'm going to say that Harlan brought his parents into the house to talk to them. So you storm down the stairs and you hear basically what the last thing we just talked about. That you hear the rest of your friends talking about if they leave, maybe he'll move on. And then Beza saying he was always a trickster, but he never really caused a major problem, and this is a major problem. It's the last thing you hear at the bottom of the stairs.
Well, we obviously don't all have to leave. You can stay here and have your sunshiny Green Acres picnics, because apparently there's only one person with a target on their back, and that's me.
Now, hold on. While that may be accurate, it is hardly fair to the rest of us that have been traveling with you.
That dragon almost killed Paru. That would have been my fault.
No, it wouldn't.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm going to go back. I'm going back. If I get arrested, fine. I'll do awesome in prison. Trust me. But if not, I'm going to go back to the inn. I want to go back in the book.
Fucking hell.
Okay.
It's not your fault, Oliette.
First of all, I'm used to a 6-foot-tall mushroom backing me up when I run into a fight. That was my fault. I'm used to Sniffs being right behind me to punch whatever the fuck I miss. Not your fault. We are a team. You go, we go. None of us are doing this alone. And so help me, if I have to earthbind you, ground your wings to the goddamn ground, and sit on your head to make sure you understand that, I'll do it.
Aggressive support. Something about that alpha attitude, though, that you kind of connects, Alia. You're like, okay, I kind of respect that.
It's amused by the idea of this barely 3-foot-tall woman to lead.
I will sit on your head.
Easy little.
I will sit on you, bind your ass to the ground.
You're not going anywhere without us, Oliette. We all agreed to this.
We were sent together.
And together we stay.
This was a mistake. We shouldn't have left the book.
I think it's too soon to tell on that one. We're just on the first stop.
We haven't even been out of the book for a full week yet.
We knew this wasn't going to be easy.
That's what they trained us for. We took it down, Oliette. It got a couple good hits.
You took it down. I brought it here, and you took it down. I didn't do anything.
You saved Paru. We aren't blind. We saw you fly in and heal her.
Begrudgingly, but you did do it.
Ugh, I guess I have to. Ew.
Just because you think you planted something by mistake doesn't mean you don't need what ends up growing there.
Dandelions make a mighty fine wine.
Whatever. But we can't stay here. I can't stay here. You can come if you want, I guess.
So where are we going?
But I don't...
Well, I mean, we've got options. Sort of.
Do we? Villain already know... Villain... They know who we are. They know how to find us.
No? The wonderful thing about being one with mushrooms is I can't be killed in any way that matters. Because afterwards, I'll grow flowers, and I am them, and that is all of eternity.
That's a mighty broad view you're taking there, and I do support you in it. Gross.
Paru, you do notice that Erebeth has entered the room at a certain point during this conversation. She's like, fuck.
And
dark.
I mean that in the most hilarious way possible.
Heather, we can't hear you.
Smooth I am not.
Can't hear you, Heather.
Wrong button. That's why.
There you go.
I understand your point, Paru, and it's kind of pretty thinking.
No, it was poorly timed and badly phrased. I am not a wordsmith.
I like it better this way.
Yeah, I prefer being this way. I prefer the walking and the talking bit. It was meant to be brave and bold, and let's pretend I never said it.
It's all right. If it makes you feel any better, I can make sure that I plant a garden with some of what's left of you, because I don't age. So I'm basically around forever. I try not to think about it, though, because not having you guys around isn't a fun thought.
I just turned to Francine. Can I get some of that lemonade to go? Clearly, I'm gonna need it.
Oh my god!
Goes into the icebox. Pulls out a very large glass for both of you.
Well,
Do you want ice or do you want it iced?
No, just if I could inject it, I would. Just give me the liquid.
Can I just have the tequila, please?
Can I just have whatever makes it spicy, please? I don't even need the lemons, honestly.
I just want the spice.
Just give me the burn.
We are all Olia right now. I don't even want what makes it lemon. I just whatever is spicy.
I don't need the lemon. Just give me the aid. You know what I mean? Like I just skip the nonsense.
So, I mean, I assume you make plans to leave.
Yeah. Mentally, with the book connection,
Yeah.
Beza reaches out to you guys. We should probably make sure that we don't say out loud exactly where we're gonna head next, since we can talk this way. I don't know if there's a way to make Verlaine not hear it, though.
There might be. I don't know though. I'll open the book back up.
Okay.
And basically just scratch out the question as quickly as I can.
It's already been answered. It says,
I miss my book, Mom.
it says, stay close to your friends. I will seek answers.
Okay, we'll close the book and turn back to them. And out loud, not using the connection. I don't think it's secure. If they're anywhere near us, they're going to hear it too. We have to wait on an answer.
That's fine, but for now... She looks over at Harlan's parents. You guys have been really nice to us, and thank you for letting us stay with you, but we should probably leave, and we probably shouldn't tell you where we're going.
Oh, I guess given everything going on, I understand. Hector sort of processing a little bit. Clearly, he's not of any use here.
We'll send word as soon as we can that we're safe.
We'd appreciate it. We'd thank you kindly for keeping some eyes on our boy here.
Oh, you talking
Hector
about me?
Hector looks at you. Yeah, you still my boy. You're bigger, but that don't change nothing.
Oh, Pa. Don't get soft on me now.
Yeah, downright sentimental. It's just like that hairline. You can't quite see a smile, but you know his tone. Francine's just a mess. Well, at least make y'all some something for the road.
Yep, Mama.
She looks at you, Oliette.
I'm good.
I will absolutely take a bindle or 4.
How about a backpack?
That'll work great.
Mm-hmm. You get a bag
What
of
is this?
holding.
What are we?
It's just a bag of holding full of food. 500 pounds of food.
Just one's just for baguettes. The other one is like all the lunch meat.
The other one is Uncle Charlie's moonshine.
Just Uncle
You just
Charlie.
jump in.
Just moonshine.
There's a keg. There's like a keg tap on the back of the bag.
Amazing.
God.
It's the lunch bag of holding. No, it's just a backpack. Just simple. Full of long-lasting stuff. That'll carry you for a few days of travel between the four of you.
Especially since I don't eat.
Yeah, it's easy to pack. And so, I mean, it's the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah.
Sun's up. You've barely been awake for maybe 5 hours, maybe. You're already on your way out. So the family, well, most of the farmhands are still working on getting the paper drake cleaned up. No one seems angry or upset with you. I mean, Oliette, you've got that like paranoia that it was your fault, but like no one's treating you like it is. They're very kind and congenial and welcoming, like they've been the whole time.
Which almost makes it worse. It makes it worse. Like she would almost rather they would just be mad so that she can also be mad and leave it at that.
Yeah. Harlan, your mama, she gives you the backpack and like straightens out your overalls and puts your hat back on your head and does that mom thing. You take care of yourself, all right?
I know how to do nothing else other than take care of myself.
That's good to hear.
I was taught well by a turtle man.
She stares into the middle distance for a minute, just blinks. I'm gonna assume that's a good thing for the sake of my sanity. And she's gonna give you a hug.
Goro was really nice, actually, so it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, she just like holds you real close, Harlan. Big hug, barely feel it. She's not as strong as you. And Hector,
she might be. I'm not very strong.
Hector puts a hand on your shoulder, big meat hook of a hand, and it's like, it's weird.
Yeah. What specifically?
Well, besides all of it.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice. Weird, but kind of nice. Getting to see the kind of furball you grew up into being. thought I'd have to wait quite a bit of ways for it.
Well, it was not an overnight success, I will tell you that. And some would say that the situation is developing.
Well, you seem like you're on the right track. Except for the weird. That's still weird.
I can't control that. I just roll with it when it happens. But
Fun.
thank you.
Did the turtle teach you that too?
The turtle did teach me a little bit of the way to, yes, roll with those particular punches. To make lemonade out of lemons, as it were.
Speaking of lemonade.
Paru fishes some seeds out of her bag for Erebeth.
Yeah.
These might come in handy. A couple different variety of maize and things, but never know.
Oh shit! Thanks.
Welcome.
Takes the seeds. I'm gonna set the scene because I just want to do this. She's leaning on the porch pit like a pillar of the porch with one of her feet up on it. Because of course she is.
Yeah, these never know. It might come in handy. So they'll grow better out here than underground. So
yeah. Well, you and my baby brother ever find yourselves back around, you let me know, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
You're not there. Chris isn't there to ship.
I'm not. I know. We ship everyone all the time. It's a problem.
Yeah, and there's a vibe.
There's a vibe.
But there's also like,
I'm literally leaving in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So
is anyone nearby someone that was egging Beza on against Montgomery?
Probably one of the farmhands.
She goes over and gives him a handful of the tusks from the rhino cats.
Yes.
Just tell him that you want them all from me and have fun.
The like teen Faebles girls like, okay.
That's so cute.
And Paru, Erebeth kind of reaches actually, do you have a quarterstaff thing, right?
I had borrowed hers. I actually don't have my own. I just kind of snagged hers because it was the only one that was the closest one I could find.
So she reaches back on the fence or on the patio and pulls the shepherd's crook out and is like, well, seems to me that you have much better reasons to keep this than I do. So if you have any inkling, thanks for saving my cows. She offers you
Thanks.
the shepherd's crook.
Thank you for healing my wounds post-dragon.
Let's not talk about that ever again.
Then let's not talk about the terrible thing I said in the kitchen.
Deal. Score wiped clean.
Absolutely.
You take care.
Me too. Next time, Uncle Charlie's Moonshine. Maybe just you and me?
And maybe not a drinking contest.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
And Chris has been sated.
I think after Harland is bidding his parents adieu, hang back just a second.
Mm-hmm.
It occurs to me, I don't think Aliette knows how to ask for a hug. So she's kind of like awkwardly hanging on, hoping Harlan's mom picks up this vibe that
honestly, she said goodbye to Harlan, but she like the whole family like is making the rounds and yeah, so Hector and Francine are Hector's giving everybody firm handshakes, and Francine is giving hugs, and you're like near the end of the line, and Hector's just like, oh, thank you kindly for everything that you've done for a boy, and offers you a big, like, meaty Furbolg handshake.
The awkward, like, teenage girl, wimpy wrist bullshit handshake.
He just sort of, like, straightens your wrist out and, like this.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you look him in the eye.
Great.
That's how they know you mean business. And
Haru, with her strength of 16, returning the handshake. She's like, yeah.
Hector kind of looks to Erebus.
Yes! Dad's approval!
You got the dad approval. And Francine's just like, oh, hon, come here. And she, like, reaches out to give you a big hug. And yeah, she hugs. And, like,
I pretend that I hate it, but this is the first time an actual mom has ever hugged me in my entire life. So I'm just
God.
trying to soak it in without anybody noticing. Yeah, Her Majesty the Word's not a hugger. You did. She definitely spoke about affection more in words and deeds than that. Yeah. Yeah, you get a big Midwestern mom hug, and you feel as a small water flask is handed to you, sort of sneaky, like she's. This is what I've been missing.
It's like there's
a wine mom. Is that what you're missing?
A sneaky wine mom. That's what I needed.
Hi, did you want some? I mean, rather you guys would drink inside the house if we're going.
Yeah, I'm not a real. Oh my god! I'm not a regular furbog. I'm a cool furbog. I'm a cool mom.
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah. Mom.
And so yeah, she gives you a nice squeeze, and just goes, "You take care, hon."
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. And then I'll kind of make my way out.
Kind of skin kind of buzzing with that, like,
oh god, what is this?
What's this feeling?
What is this feeling? Cool. Yeah.
So you all gather, and the Fire Branch clan is somewhat collected on the porch. Some of them are waving goodbye as you all head down the lane outside of out past the ranch, and kind of head. You have a couple options. You could start just wandering out past here, walk till you hit a wall, or you could try to take the train again. That's an option. You could also try to investigate some other means of getting outside the Chroniker, if that is something that it's really up to you. But that is a conversation that will have to be had next week, as we sort of close on a garishly bright afternoon, and you're just heading to the next thing. And that is where we will close chapter 10. Okay. Whew. Oh, all right, everybody. That is the end of our session. That is chapter 10. Chorin. Get to Chorin? I think we're sorry.
Get to Chorin.
And we will be back next week, same time, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, for chapter 11 of the Book of Faebles. As we see what the next, what our trip has in store for our slightly frustrated heroes. Just a little frustrated. Once again, we are Shenanigoons, and you're watching us on the Nerdsmith Network. We are just one of a whole bunch of creators making really cool content. You can find our Discord down below underneath the stream, or possibly in chat. And you can join our community. We have a nice fun group of folks. We run games sometimes. We chat about all sorts of things. I'm particularly proud of our what's it called? What's the one channel? What's the food channel called?
Culinary Wonders.
Culinary Wonders. We have an entire photo channel dedicated to the food you're making.
Yes.
Which is very fun. And we are, yeah, you should come join us. Come hang out. That's how most of us meet our friends, is on the Discord. So, and if you follow us here, or join the Discord, or follow us on Twitter at We Are Nerdsmith, you'll get heads ups whenever we go live with shows. Tomorrow night is Discover RPG. I do a lot of campaign prep, some for this campaign and also for a private campaign that I run, and any of the other things that I run as a professional DM. So lots of one-shot prepping and things like that. I am potentially looking into running a one-shot for a new client that will involve learning a new system.
Ooh.
So I might be taking a look at the Green Knight, which is an Arthurian RPG.
Nice.
So I'm into that. That might be something I look into tomorrow. So if you come 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, I'll be there for an hour, just kicking the tires a little bit, maybe seeing what there is to see with the Green Knight. And then we are back here on Tuesdays for Shenanigoons. And we have new programming coming soon. We will tell you more when we have more of the information. And that's all I got. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Eldritch Foundry, where our fabulous portraiture has been made. Thank you to World Anvil. Make sure it's technically the 30th now, but that means there's still a day and another day to participate in World Ember. They will be doing, I believe, on the 31st, I think. They will be doing their final voting and awards, so you can check out some of the cool prizes that will be handed out and find some really incredible world builders and writers who have just made incredible stuff, ranging from content to the technical styling of articles. People do incredible things on World Anvil with the tool set that you can get there. So highly recommend you check it out at worldanvil.com. Also, thank you so much to Die Hard Dice. We absolutely love your dice. I mean, Chris in particular had a very good night.
I did great. Thank y'all. Thank you.
And don't forget, you can use the code nerdsmith.dec, as in December. Nerdsmith-DEC, to get 10% off your purchase for the month. You only got a couple more days to use it. So make sure you check out Die Hard Dice at dieharddice.com. And that's all we have for this evening. Next week we will continue. It will be 2021.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the 5th for our next chapter, chapter 11 of the Book of Faebles. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Mike for your first spin of the Wheel of Causality.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to Mouse for gifting me your precious gnome Mamito, who is in my private game, and I loved being able to play her and her wolf
wonderful.
Trace, and it was really delightful. And those are the kinds of things that you can start doing now as you contribute to the chaos here on Shenanigoons. That was the most chaotic roll probably that could have happened during that entire
Oh my god,
It was
it was
beautiful.
perfect.
And we really, really appreciate everybody who tuned in, especially Perception Studios, for that raid. Thank you so much. And if you stuck around from Perception Studios, welcome. We're happy to have you. And we will see you all next Tuesday. Once again, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Please have a very safe and happy week. Take care of yourselves. Make good choices. Be safe. And above all, do me a favor and be good to each other. All right. To be continued.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.